What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here around One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start? Round one. Let me know that you guys can hear me loud and clear out there. Hold on, let me check my audio. Yep, looks good. Sound looks good so far. All right. Let me know you guys can hear me loud and clear out there. All right. Let me turn this up a little bit. All right, was messing with the knobs yesterday. How's everybody doing out there on this Valentine's Day? You know, how's your other half treating you today for Valentine's Day? You know, I got flowers. I got flowers today, and I got chocolates. I got chocolates and flowers. What'd you get? What'd you get? Cause that ah she loves me, but unfortunately, I had to tell the missus I already have a Valentine's Day. I already had somebody that asked me to be their Valentine's Day, and my 12-year-old daughter asked me to be her Valentine. And I'm sorry, baby. You know what I'm saying? She asked first, and I accept it. So, although my wife bought me flowers and candy, I'm appreciated, but Nala stole my heart. So, it is what it is. But hey, to all the Valentine's Day um uh lovers, or however you want to word it, happy Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? I got my wife this. It wasn't on Valentine's, but I brought it up again. You got to bring it up again. Huh? And she said, fuck Valentine's Day. I love you every day. You know what I mean? I got clothes on, people, clothes. It's a funny joke. Me and my girl, sort of what we look like, I guess, right? It was cool. So, yeah, man, let's talk about this. Uh, I got up today, wanted to get my mind off everything, and I thought no better way to come back and talk to you guys boxing. What's up, people? How you guys doing? Meg, what's up? How you doing? Alexander, what does that say? Man, yep. What's up? Yo, so I wanted to get up today and talk boxing and really get my mind off a lot of things. You guys know, a little bit about what's going on with me and stuff, but I gotta keep moving. Gotta keep moving. And there's nothing more I enjoy more than coming up and sharing and talking boxing, especially when it comes to Xander Zayas and the American Dream, Devin Does Dollars, Debo Haney. Bro, if he gets any more names or titles, like we're like, what the hell? He he is he trying to be tough, or is he? Devin, does he does he have to associate every like name with him? Devin, the American Dream, Dev Dollars, Debo, Haney, like, yo, we get it. We get it. You're tough, okay? We get it, right? And I like Devin Haney. I like Devin Haney a lot. I fucks with Devin Haney. But when you start talking reckless and your dad starts talking all this shit, right? And like you got Keyshawn Davis, right? Brother, the Puerto Ricans don't need no favors, Keyshawn. We don't need you to come out and try to act like you gonna don't call out the Puerto Ricans. Call me out. What you mean by that too, Keyshawn? We'll talk about that, right? Like Keyshawn, like you the big bad wolf or something. Yeah, you beat Ortiz. Great, great, great. But stop it, Keyshawn. So Bill Haney, right? Devin, this all starts, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are caught up with this, right? Which is wild, right? Because Devin's really shocking me right now. I gotta be honest. And although Bill Haney's talking a lot of shit, there's another side of it I understand. I'm tipping my hat off to Bill Haney and the way they moving. Reckless, but they moving. And in a fighting world, You want to attach your name to some of the biggest fights. So what Bill Haney's doing, Devin's doing. Listen, first of all, let's take a trip down memory lane. When Devin came off that catastrophe against Ryan and then that performance against Jose, when he announced that he was going to fight Brian Norman Jr., the whole boxing world said, "Oh, no, Dev, coming back. That might be too much for you right now, Dev. Look what you look like in your last fight." You got to give Devin credit for shocking the world. A fight like that against Brian Norman Jr., like, true indeed. There was an element there that, like, most boxes, like hardcores, they were like, Devin's way farther along, more polished as a fighter than Brian Norman Jr. But they were willing to look past all of that because of what Devin was going through. They thought that the scales of boxing were even. And it allowed you to take Brian Norman Jr. as a bigger threat. What helped Brian Norman Jr. was that big knockout with Jin Sasaki out there in Japan. That's what sold it to people. They said if Brian Norman Jr. can do that, knock a man back, he didn't just knock him out. That man woke up 30 days later in his head. So the punching power was there. The threat, the real threat was there. The rumors started going around. Devin pillow fisted, and the rest is history. Devin had to come out and remind the world who Devin Haney is. And he did just that. So for that, I respect Devin Haney. I'm not a fool. I'm not biased. I got to give credit where credit's due. But I'm going to tell you right now, I keep telling you guys this. I said it. I've been saying it. What did I get criticism for, guys? Xander's the best boxer out of all the champions. They say, Edwin, you crazy. I said, yo, Bachram can't box. He's a good puncher, but he's not fundamentally sound like Xander. Fundora is not a better boxer than Xander. All the champions that were there, the only one was Abbas Baru, right? That Abbas Baru can box. He was a strong dude. Abbas Baru, you might not know of him, but what I started finding out about him and I started seeing the way he fought Xander with the passion, like he was there to try to win and pull an upset. Abbas Baru, you could see like his willingness to go in there and engage with Xander was top notch. And I try to tell you, Xander was the better boxer. It didn't mean that Xander would beat all these guys. No, but the fundamental, the fundamentals, keep doing the small things over and over. Xander does that a lot. When Xander came out from the amateurs, he had like a record like 130 something fight. He won like 118, I think it was, out of the amateurs. So Xander's coming in, and you could see he was adapting early to the pros. Remember, I think Xander was the youngest fighter top rank signed. Remember that? He was like, I think these youngest fighters they had signed. So while Xander was coming up, you got to understand that Xander is a student of boxing, a pure student. As long as he keeps his nose clean, stays out of the lamplight, no drugs, alcohol, women, all that other shit, if he stays the course, look at what Xander is. Xander's not this kid that's like flamboyant, all this other. No, he's like one of those special kids that you see come up in basketball camps, the McDonald camps, the Michael Jordan camps, them fortunate kids that get them rare opportunities. That's what Xander is. That is exactly what Xander is. He's not playing around. While Devin is trying to fix his image, so to speak, he's collecting belts. The one thing I value about Devin, he didn't fake the funk. And you want to know why I think Devin's calling out Xander? You want to know why? I think for multiple reasons. I think that Bill Haney believes that Xander's style is catered to Devin Haney's style. Styles make fights. When you look over the two fighters, Bill might see something there that Xander's way of boxing, it's going to cater to him, right? And I disagree. I disagree. You know, I think that Bill and Devin feel that Shakur Stevenson went one up on them by Shakur becoming a 4 division world champion. I think that Devin's salty. He don't like that shit. He don't like that shit. Let me catch up to y'all messages. What up, Frontline? Get up here, bro. If you can, or you work. Bill was on his what? Yeah, man. Was he? I heard he was up on a boxing voice. I caught some of the interview. I didn't catch all of it because he kept like coming in and off the show and shit. So like I didn't catch everything. So if there was some slick shit there, that's why I got you guys. Hop on, let me know. You know what I'm saying? What was going on? Because shit talking is one thing. We can get up here and we can shit talk, but let's all keep this in mind. This is competition. Competition. And I love me some competition, bro. Let me tell you right now. Bill sees that Xander is, an opportunity for a fight, but we're going to talk at that. I got to really catch up on your messages. What's up, guys? Thank you for all your support. Good to see you back. Thank you, Vincent. Bill was on his racial rant. Yep. Xander is trending. Yeah, Ryan is about to fight. Yep. We're going to talk about that. I got Xander. Says Alexander. Okay, Mick. Nice. Okay. Okay. I see this. I see this. We're going to talk about this right here. We're going to talk about exactly that right here. And I want to show footage on Xander. I want to show some footage on Xander, young Xander, where Xander's, becoming and stuff. And we could also take look a little bit on Devin, right? They're probably going to have me edit this part out of the video or whatever. But it's important to look at. And I like that you bring up this point right here, Mick. Xander gets hit a lot, mostly right hands, and Devin's is sharp with his right hand. Now, I love that because let's take a look right here at young Xander Zayas right here. And I just want to bring up a video of him. And in fact, this video is a video of him when he's like all of, I think, 18 years old coming into this fight right here. Shout out to Top Rank. And I just wanted, for educational boxing purposes, to put this up, and we're gonna study young Xander Zayas. Shout out to Top Rank. So let's take a look.
What makes this kid special?
Well, you see, is young. Xander is 18 years old in this fight right here. And you mentioned the right hand. When Xander gets hit, caught over the top with that right hand. Now watch it. He's going to get caught in this fight. Right there. Boom. See that? He gets caught. Takes it well. Look, boom. And this is what I mean. When I say to Boogie and Frontline, when Xander gets hit hard, he fights strong. He wants to get it back. This is what happens. And notice he got hit with that right again. Ooh, nice uppercut. Whoa! Nice shot. Ooh, oh. He smells blood. Ooh, they got caught over the top again. He's lowering his hands. See that? Ooh! Nice shot right there. Nice shot. Let's check him out over here. Okay. Look at Xander's fundamentals. See, he steps, and this is a young Xander right here. This is an 18-year-old kid. For the level of his competition right there, let's see if we can get a better view of him. I don't want to take too much time of this video because I know they're gonna get me. I know they're gonna get me. So let's check this out. Let's see what he looks like here. All right. Look at his feet, his hands up now. Look, keeps the guy in front of him, snaps the jab, one to the chest. Step, boom, bow. Nice body shot. Good check hook. Being the aggressor, popping that jab. He's got a good jab, man. And that's how champions are made, with a good jab. With a good jab, champions are made. Richard Hitchens became a world champion with that jab. A lot of great champions that have good jabs. That's the key, man. That's the key. Nice. Now this guy right here is not giving Xander a lot of this is definitely not Devin Haney or anybody near the caliber of fighter that would be fighting Xander back. But as you can see, Xander very early on showed, you know, good boxing IQ, patience, timing, real early in his career. Let's see if we can get some video of Xander when he cut his hair and versus what he looks like now against guys like now. Let's look at Xander. Okay, let's check this out right here. Let's look at him out as he's growing in the sport of boxing. Looks strong, man. Xander's big. He's big. Ooh, nice body shot. Good shoulder roll. Look, pushing off, framing. Look, bam, bam. Ooh. See, Xander's technique, man. He does a lot of the small things right. He's also like learning and developing his style as a pro. I'm telling you, he's a real student of boxing. He really is. And nice. Mm, man, these are big boys up here at 154, man. I'm not sure, Devin, you want to come up here, man, like that. You might want to get some time to develop up here. You start treading in these waters. Now, this is different. That 130, 135, 140, yeah, 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 yeah. You up there. But look at these, man, listen. Xander's getting cracked by big dudes. Imagine what they weighed in on fight night. 160, 170 on fight night. That's what they roughly around there. Yo, Dev, you crazy, boy. Man, listen, Dev. Look, I think that Xander is the type of fighter that he's developing as boxing goes on. Same thing goes for Devin. I have a lot of high expectations for Devin on how he ends his career. I think Devin has the possibility of ending one of the greatest, if not one of the best champions we had in our era. Due to the fact that he'll never pass Terrence Crawford, I don't think that he's not going to get that title. I don't think anybody is over Terrence, no. But he has the potential of being one of the ones in our era as the men and women in our time, you know, can be a great champion. He's already got one big accomplishment in his back pocket. He was already an undisputed world champion, Devin. So when you got that out the way, great. Now, as far as Devin coming out and trying to challenge Xander, now let's talk our shit. Let's talk our shit. That's where all this is where all the kindness and the nice things and everything, that's where it all stops right here. This is where it all stops. You fucking lost your mind, Bill? You think because your son has one belt that Xander's food? You better fucking respect Xander and what he is right now. Don't try to give me this once upon a time shit, Bill. With once upon a time my son was undisputed. Yeah, so what? That was once upon a you ain't gonna win today's game off yesterday's score. It's not happening. Right now, Xander has 2 belts. He's a unified. Where's your son's second belt? All right, then shut up. Your son's not a greater champion than Xander in this point in time. Stop trying to convince everybody like Xander fool. Like listen, Bill, that's a big jump. That's a big 147, 154. That's a big jump. We're not talking 122 to 126. 4 pound. We're not talking that kind of jump. This is when the ounces in the gloves change. You feel me? And this is a different level of boxing. You thinking what? Your son down there with 8-ounce type shit? He going up here with 10? This is going to be a lot of different things. Yo, listen, I know in gyms, we all spar big guys. It's not the same. It's not the same. With that kind of jump, Xander's been up there rocking with them big boys, and he's about to go to 160. If he's staying disciplined right now because of his vision. He wants Josh Kelly, and Devin tweeted out like, "Yo, Xander, you got 2 belts." Is that? I thought that was slick by Xander when he came back and said, "Yo, you guys know I'm trying to get that fight with Josh Kelly right now because shout out to Xander for being all of 23 years old. And the second he got the belt, it was like he's going after titles. He don't want to hear no, he's going after titles. And then they had a lot to say about him, but this kid is the one that's doing like big shit. So Devin's been in that situation before where he was young doing big shit. And that's how Devin got his name. Then Devin, I thought it was cool that Xander was like, yo, let me tell you something. I'm going to get this smoke with Josh Kelly if I can. If that falls through, then I got no problem putting that one back up on your record to Devin. Meaning that loss that he caught with Ryan, you know how they took it off? He said, man, I'll put that shit right back on there if you want. Come get this smoke, you know? And like Xander gets on the thing on the Spanish podcast show. He calls Devin a clown and shit. Bill snaps. I heard he went on the boxing voice. That man almost lost his mind. But as far as like the competition goes, come get some, Dev. Come get some. Puerto Rico be waiting for you. Yeah. We right there. We right there. Come on, come get some. You want some of this smoke? Hey, yo, Bill, remember, when your son gets rocked, right? You ask for this. You ask for this. Because if you ask me, Bill, your son got enough problems at 147. He got enough smoke right there. Keep Devin's ass down there and dominate the division. Dominate the division. You know what fucks it up too? Is like the blatant ducking in the world. Everything in boxing for me, it has a double standard. Has a double standard. You could view one guy one way, but shit if you ignore the other guy. For instance, Rondo Rowley is publicly ducking Devin Haney. Nobody says shit. Nobody says nothing. Like I'm hearing he can't get these fight with some of these dudes, but then when you see like a fighter like Brian Oman Jr. not take the Jerron Boots Ennis fight and take the Jin fight at once upon a time back then, he's a duck. He's a duck. The entire social media roasted that man. You know how many times I've sit here and watched champions call out another champion and, oh, well, no, you're not fighting him. You're a duck. Rolly can, hey, I'm not fighting Devin. He's a boring fighter. Blah, blah, all these excuses. Bro, you're ducking him. The double standards in boxing is like crazy. It really is. It's like, I don't know, man. Something about certain fighters, people let them get away with crazy shit. Saul got away with it for years. For years, Saul would do fucking we come on, man. If you're following boxing, you know it, right? So, but this fight with Xander and Devin, man, somebody's heart's gonna get broken. If this ever happens, I welcome a fight like this, but not for Xander right now. It's kind of fucked up. Like when you would allow like the media, the money, the fight as dollars makes sense. Xander is trending right now. He's hot right now. He was in the Super Bowl. Xander was everywhere. He's all over the place. He's the next Puerto Rican star. He's grabbing the torch right now. He picking it up. Subriel dropped it. Subriel was trying to hold the torch, but he was fumbling it. You know what I'm saying? And it was on the ground. Xander came and picked it up. Oscar Collazo was there. And that's a shame that he's not bigger, Oscar, because he could definitely buff. If you ask me, he's better a boxer than Xander. I'm sorry. Oscar Collazo. Yes, he is. If you don't know about him, because he fights all the way down there to 105 and shit. You know what I mean? But flowing, how to set shit up. Oh, Oscar Collazo is something else. Unfortunately, my little dude, man, doesn't get a lot of like, praise and stuff. There's not a lot of guys in his division. He doesn't have a deep division. So when the boxing world looks at it, it's you can get a title shot in like your sixth fight, your fourth fight, if you're good. Um, so those divisions I understand. But boxing, I also understand. I test Oscar Collazo is probably the best Puerto Rican fighter we have. And that's my honest opinion. That's my honest opinion of the way he moves. I'm talking hands to feet, movement. You move with your body, uh, eye to eye coordination, his timing, everything. He's the best Puerto Rican, in my opinion. In my opinion, there's some nice kids coming up right now, but they're not as polished as Oscar is. No, that's my opinion though. And so as far as like Xander, I don't like these situations where a fight comes up that alters, you know, what's going on in the fight. See, here's a tricky situation in boxing, and I want to see if we can walk through this with me, guys. The WBO is one of the only belts in boxing that has a claw, has a rule set in place where the WBO champion in the lower weight division can challenge the one above or lower. Devin Haney owns the WBO world title at 147. He beat Brian Norman Jr. for it. He can petition the WBO to mandate the fight between him and Xander Zayas. Now that could fuck up Xander's situation trying to unify with Josh Kelly. Because although these are the rules, a unification trumps a mandatory, right? But what about a mandatory championship? Does it? I don't think just a regular. See, the WBO doesn't give two shits about the IBF. And the IBF don't give two shits about they don't get none of their money, right? So if the WBO wanted to be assholes and they say, no, you got to fight Devin Haney, Xander. Then if Xander chooses to fight Josh Kelly on the night he steps in, the WBO can strip him. Because he didn't fight there. How does this work? What mandatory actually, how much power does Devin Haney have in this situation? That if you're out here asking for a fight on social media, rather than picking up the phone and calling someone where it matters, why didn't you just call the WBO? Get the WBO. It's like, who gets to the teacher first? to tell their side of the story. If Devin and Bill went to the WBO and petitioned for the mandatory first, that's the first move to put Xander in that position. It could screw up his future plans to try to unify with Josh Kelly. Whether or not Kelly is interested in taking the fight or playing keep away with the IBF, but now their belt for that IBF with Josh Kelly and Xander, the 10-pound rehydration clause won't be in effect. So neither Josh Kelly or Xander would have to make the 10-pound rehydration clause. So that's a plus. That's a plus, right? Where does that put Devin and his power? Because remember, Devin can petition for the fight. And Xander got the WBO. He's the WBO champion in the next. He has to honor that. And if my memory serves me correctly, how many times did I see the WBO below champion challenge the top one? That Japanese dude did it 4 times. I can't properly say his name, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. He had 4 divisions with 4 WBO titles. He kept challenging like that. And every time the other champion had a mandatory, the Japanese dude got first in line. They had a mandatory for the WBO dude in front of that Japanese dude. He put in the paperwork. They said, that trumps your mandatory. He goes first. So I saw it happen. Right? Where does that put Devin Haney? Does he really want the smoke? Or is he weighing up his options? Is he poking the bear? Or does he want to hunt the bear? What are you really doing, Devin? Because I'm just spitballing. I'm spitballing in boxing, and we see this a lot. We see one guy say, yo, I want this, want that. Well, why ain't you doing this? It makes you go, You feel me? What's up, baby? Xander gets, okay. I got to move the messages. Shit, my bad, guys. What up, Low Boxing? Direction. Nah, I'm going to. Devin is like that. Round 1. He's proven it's. Yo, listen, Devin is like that. Devin is like that. And I told you at the beginning of my show, at the beginning of my take, you got to give Devin credit for what he did. He took Brian Norman Jr., man. He took him to school. It wasn't the best performance from Devin. No. I'm hard on Devin. I'm like hard on Devin's performances because I expect more from him. Devin, you're better than that. You're a better fighter than you were in that Brian Norman Jr. fight. You're a better fighter. You just didn't let go. You were in the fight. You were beating him, Brian. You were outclassing Brian Norman Jr. with what you had. You were willing to show and to give. When you had to fight, you fought, boxed, but Devin never took it to that next level in that fight. And I know Devin has a next level. I believe it. I've been telling the world it for a very long time. Devin's not there yet. He's not. But that's why I'm so hard on him. Because I'm trying to tell you, the day he shows up, the real version of Devin Haney, he's just going, like I said, when I describe Devin Haney, I tell you, he's the kind of fighter that was very privileged. He studied under a lot of masters, a lot of different coaches. He traveled. He was the type of fighter that his father felt like, just don't study on the one style. I want you to be well versed in all styles, and I want you to train under multiple coaches. In that situation, when that happens, it could go one or two ways. You can learn so much that you don't know shit. You can learn so much, but you're trying to be or adapt what they taught you versus Devin Haney taking everything he learned, and I'm just waiting for the day or the fight that it all comes together and Devin flows. That's what Devin has not been doing in his fight. He hasn't been flowing. No, he's just doing what he knows. There's a difference. You can see Devin's well trained. He's well trained. He's gonna do, and he's a skilled, athletic dude. He's got skills. He's just not flowing. He needs to find his identity, Devin Haney, as a boxer. Everything he learns, he needs to make his own style, not try to look like Floyd, not try to fight like Marvelous Hagler, not try to move your hands like Sugar Ray. No, he has to learn to be Devin Haney. And that, my friends, Devin hasn't found yet. No, no. That's all like I have against Devin like that. That's it. Is that I expect him to be better. That's it. As far as Xander, he's another student, but he trained under one master. He's training under one master, and Xander is molded in the ways of the art of boxing. He lives, breathes, eats shit boxing. If you're not talking about boxing around Xander, keep it pushing. Like he's trying to get into the media thing. He's growing as a young man into an adult. You can see his frame, his face, everything is changing. Same thing we saw Deb Dollar Dream, Debo, whatever you want to call him, growing up in boxing. Same shit. I watched Devin from a boy, grow up into a man in boxing. And he's still around. Devin has a lot to fight for. But as far as some shit like this, um, I don't know, Dev. You got two options. Either you put in the paperwork to try to jump in line to attack Xander because you feel that confident that you see something in Xander that you can beat. Whatever it is, I'm going to tell you right now, Devin, in boxing, you already know this. Even the greatest of the great fighters, a good jab and power punching can change you. Ryan changed you, Devin, with a left check hook. He changed. You didn't look like Devin Haney, even though the scandal broke about the PEs. Let's just be honest, guys. Let's talk freely. Let's talk honest. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ryan's a cheater. He cheated in the match. He was punished. Can we agree to that? Okay. Now, can we also agree to something else? There were two people in the ring in that fight that night. Devin wasn't on PEs. What did Devin look like? What did Devin do in the fight? Did he look like Devin? Just a fraction, 30% of Devin didn't show up in that fight. And it's not that Devin didn't show up. Speed and power changed him. It didn't allow him to flow. It didn't allow him to turn into Devin Haney. Now, did it? There's been a lot of situations that I've seen in boxing where the most skilled boxer, Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias. Alberto Puello was a boxing technician against freaking Gary Antoine Russell, which was a real pressure type fighter, like Subriel Matias. And many boxers and boxing enthusiasts thought going into the fight that yes, in fact, Alberto Puello was going to outbox Subriel Matias. But that's not what beat him. Power beat Subriel Matias. You see? So I've seen this where, yes, the more talented of the boxers we thought was going to win the fight Shit, I thought Ryan Garcia was gonna pack up Rolly. Shit didn't happen, did it? So, you know, styles make fights. They really does. When you think about these fighters and they're stylistically, yo, Devin's nice. Devin's nice. I'm not convinced he's gonna look like Devin against that kind of power and the kind of pressure that Xander's gonna put on him. When they say that Xander Zayas doesn't have power, that's a fucking lie like a motherfucker, bro. Bro, Xander's power is real. It's real. And the problem with Xander's record is Xander has the kind of record. You ever watch a game, like a baseball game or a football game, and you say to yourself, the score of the game doesn't tell the story. It doesn't tell the story. Because these guys got whooped. And in like the last quarter, they scored 3 touchdowns, and the score shows they only lost like 10 points. Yeah, because they had their third string in. So the score does not, you know what I mean? That's Xander Zayas' career in a nutshell. Yo, there were countless of his fights. I went back and I watched them. That if there was 10 more seconds in that fight was gone. He was knocked out. There were fights where the guy was getting brutalized on the ropes and the referee was doing his laundry list. Whites, colors, and he could anybody could have stopped those fights that Xander was in. Xander was beating the shit out of a lot of these dudes. And you would think, oh, he doesn't have a high knockout ratio. Look, 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 look. If you haven't been watching him, then you wouldn't know. Bro, Xander is the type of fighter that is not going to let you off the hook if he smells blood. There were multiple fights. Xander was winning on all scorecards leading into the last round. And Xander was fighting like he was down on the scorecard, still trying to get a knockout. Devin has a problem right now with being a killer, a finisher. Devin's a great boxer, good technician, and I think Devin got decent power. I don't know what these guys are talking about pillow fisting because I don't see that shit. I don't see what they talking about. I saw Regis Progress face. I saw Brian Norman Jr. on the floor. He's just Devin. If he's up on the scorecard, Devin is a smart fighter. By some view him being a smart fighter, others view him as not being a killer. And the thing is, a smart fighter. Why should I give you the opportunity to knock me out going in there trying to mix it up with you when I'm already whooping your ass? It's not on me to help you. If you can't come in, get past my jab, get through my defense, and I'm whooping your ass, it's like that guy you ever play against someone in Madden in PlayStation, and you're whooping his ass, or you're up by 7 or something, right? And there's a minute and 40 seconds left, and he has no timeouts. You take a knee. He can't stop the clock. He starts saying, yo, you bitch, bro. Why don't you hike the ball? Why do I got to give you an opportunity? You had 4 quarters to beat me. Now at 1 minute and 30 seconds, you think I got to throw the ball for you can intercept it or hit my running back to get a fumble, pick up the ball, and you're cheering in the end zone? No, I'm going to do this right thing. I'm going to take a knee. Devin in the fight, he's whooping your ass, and they like, Devin, go in, knock him out. The fuck? Why should I do that? The pressure's on him. Come on, I'm good with whooping your ass for 12 rounds. That's Devin. He had Brian Norman Jr. in all kinds of trouble, and Devin he let him off the hook because Brian Norman Jr. was still strong. He dropped him early in the fight, and Devin didn't want to take an opportunity. If Brian Norman Jr. connects on Devin, he's going to put him down. Not sure if he'll knock him out. On the first one, he might like drop him and then drop him again. Or he probably, if he hits the right button, he might knock Devin out. Devin said, fuck that, and stood on the outside and kept whooping his ass. And that's been the story of Devin Haney's career right there in a nutshell. The fact that he's not a killer. And then they associate that, well, he's not a killer. Why? Because he's pillow fisted. Because he doesn't have the power punch. And then people just keep going down that like that. Same shit they be saying about Xander. A lot of these fighters are getting a lot of these things, but I tell you right now, Devin is an interesting place. And I know the one thing that pisses Devin off the most, I haven't even asked Devin this, but I don't even, I'm gonna take a pretty good guess. It boils his blood that Shakur Stevenson got 4 divisions. Shakur got one over on him now. And everybody's viewing Shakur in the spot where Devin Haney feels he should be in. See, Devin Haney has been here. He has fought the big fights. He fought who you asked him to fight. And here comes Shakur, and he beats up T.O., just T.O. Oscar Valdez was too small. Come on, guys, right? So, once again, he beats T.O., just T.O. And now Shakur is on the pound for pound list way up there, and Devin's down here somewhere. And Devin doesn't see what's so special about Shakur. You only got one belt, and I got one belt. But what you did is something I haven't done. See? And Devin's left with, I was undisputed one time. And Shakur's like, I got 4 divisions, bro. 4 divisions. Yes, you were the best in one division. Yes, that's what that means, undisputed. You were the best. Boom. I got 4. And I think that boils Devin Haney's blood. To watch Shakur Stevenson in the position he feels he deserves, he should be in. That's Devin Haney. The most of Devin Haney's career, he didn't lose the fights in the ring. He lost them outside in the public, in the media. That's where Devin caught mad L's on YouTube streets, TikTok streaks, Twitch, whatever. He caught mad L's. Him and his dad. Devin loses his fights outside of the ring, not inside the ring. And although he got wiped down by Ryan, um, the fact that Devin's coming out now saying that the boat ship shell, that's all bullshit. It's all, guys, come on, man. You guys are boxing fans, right? You guys see this shit, right? I'm not gonna fight him. How many zeros is that? When do you want me to? Yeah, I'll fight him. Yeah. So stop it. Stop. Just stop it. If that check looks right, all that shit you said about Ryan's gonna go out the window. So we fight for money, prize. We're prize fighters. So all that shit and Terrence Crawford retiring, going on Andre Ward's podcast there saying, would you fight for 100 million? No, I would not fight for. Well said from a man that never fought for $100 million. Terrence, you never fought a fight for 100 million. I no, I won't do that for $100 million. You actually put $100 million right there, and I can see the check. That's gonna clear right there. That changes a lot of shit. Terrence got a lot of kids in a big house. Yeah, them Ferrari payments are a motherfucker. Oh, yo, the one thing in life that life taught me, when you don't when you didn't know how to build your dollar, like you didn't go build a company, buy stock, sell, pay your employees, you have a payroll. At the end of the year, you see what you made, what you strived for to work, and you built it. Then you bought another company and you invested over here. That's a person that knew how to work with money. They grew as their money grew. But when a person gets money in one lump sum that never had it like that, they typically fuck it up. That's what life has taught me. Every time I had money that I got it rapidly on a lump sum, I messed it up. Then I said to myself, man, if I had that money again and I had to do it over again, I would do it different. I got that money again and fucked it up. Not only did I get that money again, I got it a third time, double the amount, the two, and I fucked that money up. When you don't know how to grow with your money and it just gets put on you, you make dumb decisions. You do. But when you start, like I see, like now in my life, where I'm growing with it, I learned how to work with it, and now it's a lot different now than it was when I was younger. You know what I mean? And it's just that Terrence Crawford got a lot of money in one shot. And typically when that happens, he might be back to boxing, I think, Terrence Crawford. If he's, who am I to say that he doesn't manage his money well? There are those few individuals that know the value of a dollar. And they're not out there, you know, from the rip. There's young men and women that do get it one time. That's all they needed. They never lose it. Shout out to y'all. That's not me. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. I think Terrence will be back. Um, there's a lot of big fights coming up, but this Ryan Garcia card is pretty good for right now. I'll take this. I need this. I need this card. I need to get away and watch some boxing and shit. And we have a lot of good fights on that card. You know, that Frank the Ghost Martin fight is funny because I know the history about it. It's not every day you get your ass whooped by an R&B singer. You know what I'm saying? All bright. Hey yo, and then Martin, right? Don't he be like trying to sing and shit too? Well, we got two R&B singers rocking out. Oh man, that was hilarious when he went on and started singing and fought the other Keyshawn Davis's brother, because technically all the Davis family got no wins over Albright. Technically, although Keyshawn won the fight, it later got overturned to a no contest due to the fact that Keyshawn Davis tested positive for marijuana. So Davis doesn't have a win over Albright. And then Albright beat his brother. So he fought two of them and they don't got no wins over him, technically. Right? So Frank Frank the Ghost Martin, he knocked that dude out his last fight. That was a good knockout. One punch hitter quitter type shit. That was nice. Albright, he stunned Keyshawn Davis, in the later round, young Keyshawn Davis at the time. Uh, it's a good fight, but I'm gonna go with Frank the Ghost Martin on this one. The reason why, and the fight that I can look back on Frank the Ghost Martin's resume is when he fought Michelle Ali Rivera. Frank the Ghost Martin, Michelle Ali Rivera is a Dominican fighter. I haven't been seeing much of him. In fact, not a lot of these Dominican fighters neither. In fact, they're starting to like drift away, and the next wave is coming up. In fact, because Michelle Ali Rivera, uh, his image is after the great. It's tailored after the great Muhammad Ali. He comes out, he got the flat top, he looks like Muhammad Ali. That dude, right? And I think that Frank the Ghost Martin boxed well in that fight. I think Michelle Ali Rivera is a bit more polished than Albright. I think Albright is what he is. He's a tough fighter. He's a tough kid. I don't think that Albright does enough for me to, I think that, just because a guy's been in a ring with another guy doesn't give him credit. so much. Frank the Ghost Martin was in the ring with Tank Davis, but he was scared to death of Tank. I don't give him anything in that Tank fight to Frank the Ghost Martin. You just went in there and got your ass whooped and you were scared. He had you flinching everywhere. You were overreacting. You Frank the Ghost Martin got himself tired in the fight. His cardio and everything was great going into the fight. Frank the Ghost Martin was trained to go 2 12 round fights at back to back, but he started gassing out, didn't he? It's because he was tensing up. He drained himself in the fight. Yeah, that experience, he can take that away from the fight. He could take the experience of what he learned. And yeah, I guess in that aspect, yeah, you could learn something. I can give him something from that. You know, he can learn like not to like tighten up in the moment and blah blah blah. But as far as Frank the Ghost Martin fighting with Ali Rivera, I felt that skill wise, he's a bit better than Albright. I expect Frank the Ghost Martin to probably go the distance with Albright. I think Albright is smart enough and he has enough to survive. Unless he gets careless, Frank the Ghost Martin is shown he can put your lights out. If Albright gets stunned in the fight or gets careless or he's not paying attention, Frank the Ghost Martin can definitely end the night. I got Frank the Ghost Martin in that fight. I got Gary Antoine Russell against Andy Horoka. Now, this is a fight I keep going back and forth in my head. Sometimes I question myself, Edwin, are you fucking like these Japanese dudes? They're fucking great. But because I like Naoya anyway, and it's no secret, I don't allow that to be like all Japanese fighters are like this. No, in fact, that human right there, that human being, that man right there, that man is the best fighter in the world because of who he is as a human. Not a label, Japan, black, white, green. No, that man right there, that man is one of the best fighters I've ever seen in my life. One of them. So, not all Japanese fighters are that man. No, 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 it doesn't work that way. He is who he is because of him. That is it. Not a country, not a flag. None of that shit makes him who he is. Hard work, dedication, discipline. That's what makes him that kind of fighter. That's it. He's a human. All right. So, but the reason why I flip flop on this, yo, this Andy Kid dude is pretty fucking good. He's big too. He's like 6 feet tall for a Japanese dude, right? This dude can fight, man. This Andy Kid can fight. Now, Gary Antoine Russell. You know, I get a lot of shit when I say this about coaches and shit. Fighters take this shit personal. And I can understand why. I can understand why. I can understand staying loyal to your family and choosing to ride out for yours and having your older brother be your head coach and your family because of your father. But if you love your brother and your father and you love what you do, sometimes it's best to implement a world-class coach to Gary Antoine Russell rather than allowing my little brother to be trained by the older brother because they want to stay loyal, but I think that they have to recognize that there's a lot more boxing to be learned. And to get his brother that real kind of like a different set of eyes, not real coaching because that would be saying that their coaching is not real. No, no, the Russells know what the fuck they're doing. Yes, they do. I just think they've been fighting in that way too long. Too long. They're too comfortable in that Russell way of fighting. Maybe another set of eyes to get him to learn different things about boxing. because the Russell formula is successful. They have world titles to back it. But I want him to evolve. I think he can be a great champion. I think that there's a couple things. The problem with Gary Antoine Russell, the one that was undefeated, that had like the 100% knockout ratio, that one, the one that's at 140, right? The problem with him is that every time he fights, he's the same version of himself. He might be a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, but he's doing the same shit. He's fighting the exact same way every fight. Good coaching, people are going to pick up on patterns, certain things he's doing. Alberto Puello beat him, and Gary Antoine Russell couldn't make adjustments in the fight. He couldn't adjust to Alberto Puello. He kept doing what he was trained to do. And his brother kept sending him out there. Look, you got to do this more, blah, blah, blah. He couldn't adjust. And that's what I mean by getting a different set of eyes. So I might get a lot of shit about that. And don't take it personal or nothing. I'm not saying that the Russell family's coaching ability, no. But sometimes, like even in a workout when you're lifting weights, if you do that same workout for too long, for 3 months, your body's not going to grow no more. You got to switch it up. You got to implement new things to your body. You've become too comfortable in your routine. Your body is not going to grow. So that's how I see Gary Antoine Russell. As far as who I got in the fight, I'm going to rock out with the American. I like Japan. I love you guys, man. You guys know I respect you guys, man. But you know, I usually won't ever call a fight by flags or nationality. That's not cool. That's not the way to go. I wouldn't recommend that. Go by what you know, the more skilled of the fighters. But when the fight is this close in my head, and even in a 50-50, the last 10% of my is gonna go to my country. That last 10% is what got me picking because I respect this Andy dude. Yeah, I think that this is the kind of fight that Andy needs to prove himself that to go to that next level. And I think that if Gary Antoine Russell beats this Japanese dude, although the Japanese dude doesn't have the big names in his record, he proved himself to be a worthy opponent. Remember, becoming the mandatory, this is a mandatory fight for Gary Antoine Russell. So I don't want to hear no shit that if Gary Antoine Russell knocks this Japanese dude or whatever, beats him unanimous decision, let's give him credit for beating the number one guy. Let's stop this. No, he was this Japanese dude wasn't nobody. He didn't fight anybody. Who the hell did Gary Antoine Russell fight? I don't like that. No, this guy was a somebody. He was the number one mandatory at the time. That's a somebody. When you say nobody, he wasn't even ranked in the top 15. He wasn't even ranked in the top 30. Now we talking. But you can't call the number one mandatory a fucking nobody, a cab driver. No, how did he get there? What is he picking out fucking number one mandatories at Walmart on the wall like a fucking job thing? Grab the number if you number one mandatory. Yeah, I'll be the number one. It's not that easy. You got to work to be in his position. So if Gary beats this Japanese dude, fuck that. Gary beat the number one mandatory. That's it. We got to give these boxers credit. Vice versa. Andy pulls the upset. What? Gary just became a fucking nobody champion now? That's what you got. He's a two-time, like, look, all I got to say, will this count as a second? No, he got the belt off, so it won't be a second two-time title defense. It'll be the first title defense, right? Right? Because who Gary fought, he beat Jose Venezuela. So it's only going to be one time. It'll be one time, his first time title defense, right? For Gary. So, um, and in the other fight, okay, so it goes Ryan Garcia, it goes Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrio, right? And then the co-main event, I'm growing. It was Gary Antoine Russell against Andy Hiroka, right? And then who am I missing right here on this card right now? I'm having it like a huge boxing brain fart right now. I drifted off for a second. Got a lot of shit on my mind. Um, who else on the card? Hold on. Now I gotta look this damn card up. I had everything off for a while. I don't have my system all up, like everything the way I normally do. Let me read you guys' chats too. Let me catch up to you guys. What's up, Frontline? What's up, everybody? I see you, everybody. Thank you for all the love and support. Man, you guys are taking away. Yo, Frontline, where are you? Damn. Oh, Duarte. Duarte and Richard Hitchinson. Oh, Richard Hitchenson's gonna whoop that ass, baby. He's gonna whoop Duarte's ass. He's gonna beat Duarte with the jab. I don't think Duarte can get around Richard. If he can, you know how when Duarte does that 1-2 and he tries to like dip his head to the side? Ryan caught him. Duarte, there's tales about boxers that they have certain tales about them that they haven't been able to get rid of through their whole amateur and pro. There's certain things that a fighter does, and that's one of them. When Oscar Duarte goes to go forward, he steps like this and goes like that and like that. He's been doing it for years. He it's something that I think Richard Hitchens and his coach, they're gonna pick up on that. And I think that he might stop Oscar Duarte. Well, yeah, he might stop him. Richard is he's ruthless. He's ruthless. He beat the shit out of George Campbell, right? Smaller guy moving up to the division. Joe, who the fuck is George after the TO win? Like, I get it, but George is a warrior. Camboza, he's a warrior though. He was a tough dude, man. And Richard beat the yeah, Rich his jab was too much for him. It was just too much. Rich is yo, that with a jab like that, you can become a world champion. And he did. And he did. That I like Richard Hitchens' jab. Another guy that got a good jab, decent jab, like I'm seeing that it's starting to Tiger Wood, Tiger Woods, Tiger Johnson, Tiger Woods, huh? He kind of looked like Tiger Woods, don't he? Oh shit, Tiger Woods is boxing. Yo, it's Tiger Johnson. Yo, his jab, he, yo, some nice jabs, man. I've been paying attention to a lot of guys' jabs and shit. I think Ryan Garcia got the most uh on point check hook in the game. Naoya Inoue got a nice check hook. It's decent. He just haven't had the fights to really showcase it the way he want like to throw it. But I still think uh Ryan's check hook, it really has no movement from the shoulder, right? When they say throw a punch, right? I know this, but it's just, if I don't train it, it's not gonna work for me. But if you happen to be training and you want to get faster, right? And you want to hit something, the problem we have is the wind up. And what do I mean by that? It doesn't have to be so dramatic where the wind up has to go all the way back like this to wind up. No. The wind up can simply just be in the movement of your shoulder, lifting your elbow and then just extending forward. That's the wind up right there. If you want to hit something faster where you don't technically have to be fast, and you can be fast in other ways like this. That's it. You can just read your movement wasn't delayed by muscle tension, force, then momentum. That's why when your coach says just touch him, right? It's simple but very effective, and you'll see that when you just touch, you're not tensing up your muscles. You're not trying to put no power, no speed on it. Boop, you got to him. Meanwhile, you're trying to be fast. See, you're building it up. You're trying to get the shoulder to work and you're pushing the punch out. That's the windup. Ryan Garcia has a unique way of throwing that check hook without a lot of tell. When Devin hit his hand, he went like this, doop, and it was just like all momentum. It went, boom. That shit was sharp, fast. That shit was nice. He's got a good body check hook downstairs where that he disguises it because when Ryan's stepping to you, his hands are down. With his shoulder, he went like that to Luke Campbell, and Luke Campbell thought he was going high and went up, and then Ryan turned the trajectory of the punch and went downstairs. Because when Ryan was stepping to him, his shoulder sold it. He went like that, and Luke Campbell went, oh, he's coming up, and Ryan went pow to the body like that. Ryan's got a mean. That shit is sharp. It's pretty sharp. He's not really good at everything else, but he's got and like some of those guys got the best jabs. I think that Tank got the best uppercut in the game. Tank can find your chin from anywhere with that fucking uppercut. He's so little, he gets underneath the dudes, and he could just find their chin, bro. He's got one of the best, slickest uppercuts in the game. And that shit is hard. Uh, I think that fighters like Shakur Stevenson and Devin need to fight eventually. It has to be proven, and Devin has to take the torch from Shakur. If Devin can't beat him by weight divisions, there's another way he can beat him. There's another way. He needs to fight Shakur rather than running up and thinking that to solve his problem, rather than confronting Shakur, what you gonna do? Run up to Xander? You're like Devin, like you fucking jumped out of the frying pan right into the fire. That's what you did. You know what I'm saying? And I want to take this quick moment and break just to remind all the Valentine's Day lovers out there and stuff. I hope you got your candy in your heart. This is what I got. I got flowers and candy. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I told her I ain't no cheap hoe. You know what I'm saying? You think you're gonna buy me flowers and candy? You think you're gonna get some? You gotta take me to dinner tonight. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Go out and get me chocolate and shit. This is how it's done, fellas. I hope y'all got some chocolate. Because I got some. Oh shit, I got a little chocolate. Mm. This is how the women do it. They just take bites out of all of them. Mm. I feel privileged. But you know, I like change. You know? Chocolate. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, I'm gonna eat this. I should want more flowers, right? After dinner. You know what I mean? Shit, if she thinks she gonna get some of this, you know what I mean? I ain't putting out just for some candy. You know what I mean? Yo, shout out to all the Valentine's Day um relationships out there and everybody that trying to go and do that extra above and beyond to prove to their loved ones they love them. So that's awesome. And if you're like many of us, like me in my younger days, and you forgot Valentine's Day, tighten up your game, brother. Tighten up your game because somebody just might. You know what I'm saying? And, listen, ah, yeah, I like my flowers. Make me feel important. Yeah. Did I say what she's taking out to dinner later? Yeah. Hmm. I might wear something a little revealing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If you know what I mean. Yo, this is awesome. Today is my Valentine's. Devin versus Brian. Devin shocked first like a cobra. Yeah, but the problem is like I was talking about that, right? What's up? Malasa con sabor. I was talking about that, right? He did hop on like Brian Norman Jr. He came out strong, but and then he
Dímelo,
took
Edwin.
the safe road afterwards. He went the safe route. What up? What's up, bro? What up, Malasa con sabor? How you doing today? Malasa, me escucha? Malasa, are you there, buddy?
I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me? You
Oh,
can't.
fuck.
Can you hear
Stupid.
me now?
Yeah, no, it's because I have the other headbuds, the one from the cell phone in my ear instead of the microphone.
Oh,
Oh my
okay.
god.
Wow. All right. All right.
What's up? What's up, Edwin? So
How you
happy to see
doing?
you again.
Yes, yes. Happy to be back and talking boxing once again. Getting
Yes.
everything rolling and I like talking boxing. It's really like this afternoon right here talking. It's like lifted my spirits, and then going out and give me Valentine's Day chocolates and
Oh,
stuff that make me smile too. And you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that was great. So yeah, man, but we got a lot of boxing to talk about. I missed up and a lot to catch up on. I've been away for a little while. What's been going on, Malasa? What's on your mind?
Oh, good. I went and bought a car and flowers and stuff and put it over there in the bed. So when she come show up, I little bit. But no, I was watching the boxing. I was hearing your two friends. They was having an argument over there in the other show. In the gaslighter,
Yeah,
and was the old man over there talking. And I like what my boy do. But his accent, he needs your help and stuff like that because over there the sharks eat him. I'm like, bro, but he do good stuff. Like Bill is talking crazy. Like I see Bill looking for a bag, right? Who is that guy?
right,
Who is the name? Who is the bag? So I can attach myself to sell it because I cannot sell it by myself. So I need somebody with a name or something to attach myself. You
right,
know, like, and David can become the bag. Devin Haney, if he put a little bit more action and finish the fight, like he can do it because we this guy Junior, he can finish that fight in that second round, maybe the third round if he put more action into it. But so he can talk all the trash and stuff like that, but his leverage is not. Yeah, you have accolades, but we the customers, you know how it is. Yes, the
yeah,
accolades are good and stuff to talk, but if you don't perform in that ring, what the hell? I'm not gonna buy your freaking car. I'm not gonna buy your
right,
your your fight because I know what's
right.
gonna happen. I see it already. One is okay, two, but the third one is because I'm stupid or I like it. I'm not stupid, so whatever.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
that Mario Barrio. What you think about that car? Mario
Uh,
Barrio versus Ryan.
listen, I like Ryan Garcia in the fight with this Mario Barrio thing, but I'm starting to pay attention to Ryan and his stubbornness that he doesn't like going to the gym and he wants to train, in his house type shit, 3 days in his house, 2, 3 days in the gym. And it's not really coming off to me like Ryan's preparing for a world title fight, and that's what scares me. But one guy, I forgot who said this. Somebody said it on some podcast. I think it was Sean Strickland. I think it was. He said that when Ryan was leading into the Rolly fight, he said all this crazy shit, but he wasn't like out of control crazy. He went in there and he lost. But when Ryan went into the Devin fight, that he was like this Ryan crazy, like he's
Yep.
acting now. All emotional about Joe Guzman, making shirts, traitor, throwing it. You see Ryan's in like this crazy mode, Ryan, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of Ryan fights versus this other
Yes.
try to be laid back, cool demeanor, say some things about Rolly. Just watch when I show up. I'm going to beat him up. His performance wasn't that great. So I
No.
said to myself, yeah. And then Ryan, he's a Dante Wilder esh type fighter. What do I mean by that? You can't count out his knockout power. You couldn't count it out in a Dante Wilder fight. You can't count it out in a Ryan fight. You know that left check hook. It's
Yes.
everybody. That's his money shot. He made his career off that left check hook.
That's his
So it's
power.
just he has that kind of Wilder persona, the Wilderish, where that Dante Wilder's not known for boxing.
No.
He's known for one punch knockout
Knockout.
power. That's it. So when you got a fight like that, Ryan definitely, and then he brings something to the equation, and then you also gotta, damn, we gotta admit though, I don't care if you like Ryan or not, you gotta admit this though. Ryan's got talent.
Yes.
He's a
Yes.
talented fighter. We just
Yes.
know that he didn't get serious with the sport. If Ryan had gotten serious with the sport, got a real like coach that he stood behind, dedicated himself into the gym, uh, he would be a way better fighter.
Yeah. I
So,
think Ryan is good for business. I see it like
oh yeah,
that.
he's always been good for business, but I think his stock is gonna plummet if he
Oh
loses this
yes,
fight.
yes, 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 yes. His back is to the wall. You know,
Yeah,
he's there. Like, bro, you have to win. This is not like you already have two losses in
yeah.
and the one with this kid la cabra. I damn, I forgot his name now. We was talking about
Who?
Rory Romero.
Rondo
You know
Rolly.
that loss
Yeah,
against damn. Let me take that down. My bad.
yeah. That's good. That loss is a bad loss. And then you see Rondo Rolly. I was touching up on this on earlier in the show, and if you're just tuning in, please don't forget to hit that like button for me. Could you do that? And I was touching up on that about Rondo Roley, the way he can just come out and blatantly say, "I'm not fighting Devin Haney. Oh, he's a boring fighter. I know I'm not gonna fight because he's gonna run." Or this is no, you're projecting. First of all, you're projecting. Then you're using that as an scapegoat to why don't you say what? No, I won't fight Devin because you're not gonna beat him. Devin Haney ain't no Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney can nullify your power. Devin
Fact.
Haney is gonna just work circles around you, spin you, and beat the brakes off you, Rolly. You're gonna. What's gonna happen against that Devin Haney fight is what Ryan should have did to Ryan Garcia. What Pitbull did to him.
Yeah, but
Beat the
people got the
brakes.
power. You know,
Yeah,
like
but Devin's gonna beat him in a unanimous decision or
oh
something like
yes,
that.
yes,
But he's gonna outpoint him, and that's what I
yes.
meant about Devin Haney. That he gets a lot of criticism for not being that finisher type killer type
Yeah,
fighter. Where that
yeah,
that
because
that I said 50% think yes and 50% think no. 50% old heads, boxing heads are gonna say, Devin, if you're whooping the guy's ass, why would you give him a shot?
exactly. Like, mira, people buy with Shakur like what he did with Theo because he was entertaining. He was in the pocket. He went in. He went out. He don't stay behind one punch, the jab, and going the back foot all night outside the ring, you know? Like he entertained the people.
Yeah. But
He
look,
used
look,
the
look, look.
jab and stuff,
Okay,
but
check this
but
out.
but
Check this out. Check
you
this out.
know,
Okay, for instance, like I said, boxing is a double standard sport. I gotta take you down a little bit. I'm hearing grinding. I'll put you right back up. Hold on. Boxing has a double standard in the sport because when one boxer does it, we allow it to happen. When another boxer does it, we cry bloody murder. For instance, Saul Canelo Alvarez wasn't knocking out nobody in a long time. I think Caleb Plant was one of the like last ones. When Saul would drop you in a fight, he would shift into second gear, sit back, and invite you to come in. He didn't have to beat you. He was already up on the scorecard. He got a knockdown, almost guarantees him the win. Now Saul sits back and allows you to come forward. Saul dropped Jaime Munguia, Edgar Berlanga, and several other fighters in his fights. Just never finished them. But when Devin Haney does it, oh, Devin Haney, he's not a killer. He's not this. He's not that. And I understand boxing. I understand that in boxing, if I'm up on the scorecards and I dropped you, it's not my job to allow you to get an opportunity while I'm in there trying to chase the knockout. Now I'm giving you an opportunity when you couldn't outbox me. I'll outbox you, go into the scorecard, and some fight fans view it as such. But other fans are not boxing fucking like we want to see blood. We want to see a knockout. We want to see people, flat on their backs. And Melissa, I just turned on your mic. So I think
thank you.
yes, Devin needs you see, Devin doesn't need an interview for us as fighting fans. He's
Nope.
established. He's not going into a new job, right? We don't
Exactly.
want to hear that going 12 round shit. I bought a plane ticket. I went to baggage claim. I fought in line for fucking things. I went to the car rental place. I had to check into my hotel. I had to put my seat there. Then I'm exhausted. I want to go get something to eat. I did all that to come out to support you, for you to run around in a circle and in a gym in the ring. That's what I paid for.
Exactly. And because
You
mira,
see, there
Canelo,
has to be a point where the boxer understands the consumer.
yeah. And Canelo built up a fan base first before doing that. He knocked out people. He
That's
he
what I'm.
he
Yeah,
built up
you're
a
right.
name. Then
Right.
later, that now I fill up stadiums and
His
stuff, and
star
people
status
come
could hold that. Yeah, his star
they,
status could hold that though. He put in
but
blood and he fought things, guys. Yeah.
but you cannot start doing that before putting the blood and putting the work into it. You have to build a fan base. You have to build people that buy your tickets, and because by talking and stuff like that, yes, people can go in social media and trash each other. Go to a
Yeah.
Twitter war, but that don't mean you're gonna sell tickets. People
Yeah.
need to see a action in the ring so they can get excited and say, "No,
Right.
this guy I gonna see blood. I gonna see a knockout." And if the knockout happen. If it don't happen, don't happen. But you put the freaking entertainment for the
Right.
people who
Right.
pay the ticket. That
Right. Right. And that's gonna be a topic on a lot of people's minds where that quickly when a guy does a great performance, if he doesn't knock the person out, then the fight wasn't shit. And I disagree. And
Yeah,
I
me too.
disagree. I
Me too.
disagree. There are a lot of fights that have gone the distance and were great fights and good fights. In fact, I was
Bunch
already
of them.
prepared to say, for instance, I was already prepared to say that Brandon Figueroa versus Nick Ball fight going into the
Shit.
12th round was a good fight. And
Yes.
it was a fight that went the distance in my head until the knockout happened. Okay? So I was already
Murataya and
prepared.
Andy.
Yeah, I was
Murataya and
already
Andy.
yeah, and then Brandon knocked him out in the beginning, opening seconds of the 12th round, and he took away the scorecards. But
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
was
say that
great.
every fight that goes the distance is a boring fight. No.
No, 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 no. Because it's some wars that happen. It's some technical fights that you see a guy starting winning, then in the middle round the other guy go on top. Then and shit happen. Other fight, but you cannot give me 12 round of the same freaking jab and moving backwards. That okay? If the opponent is that easy, find a way to neutralize him. Because if you can dominate him just with a jab, that means that you can throw combination and take him out of there because he don't know how to close you the exit or and he's just walking behind you. Because you don't tell me that Regis Progrise Haney cannot finish Richard Progrise in the
No, he
sixth
could have.
round.
He could have. He could have. He
So
could have.
why you have me over there 12 rounds
I
passing
know.
out and
I
shit?
know. I know. I know. And Devin just chose to play it safe. And that was the time when the fighter Naoya the Monster Inui tweeted out that tweet about American fighters that they don't got that killer instinct in them anymore. That they're like spoiled fighters. You know what I'm saying? And like they don't want to risk anything. They're
And
afraid to lose. You know what I'm saying? Type shit.
I and I don't
And
think he's afraid to lose. Is I
and
think it's more like
oh,
who's there?
they're
Who's
afraid to
there?
take that first L.
Well, some of them, of course, nobody want to lose their first fight, but I think more is like they think they're so smart. Like, oh, if I can win like this because they did so much Olympics or amateur boxing, if I can win like this, why I need to get punches in my face? I think they don't like to get hit, clip in the face. It's some boxers that they get clip in the face and they get more aggressive. It's other
Yeah,
boxers
yeah,
that they
like
don't.
Oscar De La Hoya,
Yeah,
like
Oscar.
him. He hate
Shit.
getting hit in the face.
But when he got hit in the face, he came back and
Yeah,
hit faster,
yeah.
and harder.
He
Like
used to act
what?
like it was offensive to hit him in the face. When boxers would finally hit Oscar in the face, like clean,
Yeah.
he would look at them like,
Motherfucker,
ooh, okay, you
how
got
you?
that one. Like he would be like, he would when Oscar was Oscar, he made you earn
Yeah.
every punch to him.
Yes,
Besides when then the Oscar later in his career, drugs and alcohol obviously came into a factor. It changed him as a fighter. But when Oscar was Oscar, man, shit, that
bro. I
motherfucker was hard to hit.
I saw the fight Trinidad and Oscar in Top Rank Classic not like 2 months ago. Bro, he was fast. The problem with him, the first four round, he don't throw punches, and the last three and in the middle round, but he was fast. Was so difficult for Trinidad to hit De La Hoya, the few ones,
Yeah.
and he was moving fast. And the problem, he don't throw that much punches, and
No,
that's
after
the
he
reason he
ran the
lost.
last 3 rounds, he just thought that he had the fight in the
No,
bag. He thought he won 7.
yeah,
And
no.
he thought he clearly won 7 and that he can run, and it cost him. It cost
Cost
him in
him.
the fight.
Cost
It
him.
it
Because when I
cost him.
saw it,
Yeah.
he threw the first punch in the fourth round. Because the first three rounds he was moving and like getting Trinidad frustrated, but he never throw a freaking punch. Trinidad was the one who threw few punches, so they give it to him. But I saw that shit like now different when I saw it back in the days, that I was pumped up with my grandma and shit like that. So I saw it with other lenses, and De La Hoya was fast. I still give it to Trinidad, but De La Hoya was fast in 147, was very difficult to hit him. Like imagine in
Yeah.
140 that he was a
Yeah.
freaking beast over there and how high he
Mhm.
was. And these days, these boxers got all this advantage and they don't give the entertainment that the other guys gave us. Because De La
Yeah.
Hoya have the height advantage, have the speed, have the legs. He can be jabbing all freaking night if he want to. What he did, he knock out people, he entertained people.
Yeah,
He
it was a real good era in that time. You know, in that era, boxing was really a blood sport. It really was.
bro,
It was we had like the Mike Tyson era, the Roy
shit,
Jones era. He came
yo,
up with all those guys around him. Oscar, he had a
yes,
lot. A lot of competition. Guys were out there
was a lot
knocking
of
and putting
names.
on big shows. And for Oscar to be up there, I shout us out to him. But to Devin Haney and to this statement right here, 702 right here. WMS. I don't know what that stands for, but 702. In a way, knows the mission. That's why he makes the big bucks. Now, you know, ironically, they say a lot about these Japanese dudes and these bantamweight guys, and I just want to take the time out to send a little love down there in the lower weight division where Oscar Koyasu was the first, and I mean first, the smallest flyweight on 105 to ever get a ringside magazine belt. I say ring belt. I keep calling ringside. I'm sorry. It's the ring back magazine belt. There's never been a ring magazine belt champion down there in the history of boxing. And he got one. It's a crazy looking one. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, why did the ring gotta change the color of the belt for the lower guys? It's like bronze and shit. It's like not gold. You know how the ring got like the gold plaque and the gold plaques on the side of it with the red, white, and blue? Where Oscar Collazo's ring belt got the same colors, the same pattern, but it looks like a bronze belt. It's not a gold plaque.
You always pay attention to that stuff. I didn't.
Yeah,
You know more about the belts, all what
yeah, you
every
know me,
the
man. That's all I'm
lines,
about. I'm
everything.
about world champions here around One
Hell
Sports
yeah.
Talk. If you haven't figured that out, if you're a champion and you have a belt, I'm not gonna let nobody shit on you. You earn my respect, just like Dalton Smith. Guys is upset.
Yes,
Nope, he's a fucking champion, bro. He's a
he is.
WBC. I got no hate, none,
And
zero.
I I
Fucking,
told
I
I told
back up
people
champions, and that's what I look up all the time.
like some people was trying to criticize because Russell said that he would like to fight Dalton Smith and stuff like that, and why he don't say Shakur or whatever, because bro, Dalton Smith was the guy who defeat Subriel Matias by knockout, right?
Yeah, well,
Technical
in
knockout.
this situation, I don't think that was the case. He couldn't fight Dalton Smith because of the mandatory. The
No, but I'm
mandatory,
saying that like
yeah.
he want to fight it, and people was criticizing because he don't mention Shakur or something like that. I
Oh
was
yeah,
like, what
yeah.
you
Like
talking
nowadays, if
about?
you don't mention Shakur right now, because he's hot right now after that
Yeah.
Teal win, and you got to admit he shut Teal down. He made
Yes.
Teal look average, and then Teal was doing amateur shit in the ring, lifting his back leg, all that
Yeah.
picking up your back leg, being on one foot. You can't fight Shakur Stevenson like that. And it showed into what many of us thought that Shakur Tio needs a world class coach.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
all
Yes.
felt this going into the fight. That is exactly what affected Tio in that fight. It wasn't Tio's performance. It wasn't Tio's speed. It wasn't, no, it was his. Tio is faster than that, but he just didn't have the confidence to throw the punch with the speed because he didn't think he would be there. And he was going to make him. So Tio had to like slow up a little bit and try to like touch Shakur because he was that elusive. Tio didn't have an answer for Shakur, and he made Tio look bad. But
Yeah.
Tio took
The
look. Let
corner.
me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something right now. Shakur Stevenson, honestly, I can honestly say he doesn't have the names on his record because he's one of the most avoided fighters in boxing. He's difficult to fight, very difficult. He's not very friendly, crowd pleasing of late,
No.
but you're not gonna just whoop Shakur's ass, and that's just the bottom line. Uh,
Yeah.
he has too much. He has too many of the traits. Blessed him with a lot of talent.
That
He
speed.
has twitch like movements. He has the speed.
And that
He's
speed, like the
athletic.
spiders. He
Yeah,
got like
like
a spider senses. Like he know
yeah,
when the
like
danger is
he's
coming
got
and move before.
he's got too many things that boxing would take years and years for a fighter to develop. Shakur's
Yep.
got
Or
it.
master.
Now, what he doesn't have might be the greatest punching power. The gods
Yeah.
didn't bless him with everything. But
Well.
in
Yeah.
in order to beat him, though, shout out to Teofimo Lopez for being one of the guys that wasn't scared of Shakur and his talent. Tio wasn't intimidated by the name of Shakur Stevenson and the legend he made himself in sparring sessions. It's no secret around boxing gym. Shakur whooped all these dudes' asses in sparring sessions. And if you don't know this, they
Yep.
locked doors and left Shakur in there with most of these guys. They really fought in these sparring sessions. They're
Yeah.
not videotaped, but Shakur whooped all their asses. They know this. They wouldn't sign up to fight him. They know he was that good. When you're that
Oh, where's
good
the shot?
and you get that kind of name in boxing, you're cursed because
Yeah.
you're high risk, low reward. At the time, you were a bit too good, and that's what bit Shakur in the ass. That's what bit him. But Teofimo Lopez, what set Tio free was the fact that he lost to George Camboza. The fact that Tio doesn't have to go to sleep at night trying to compete with everybody else that's undefeated and maintain his undefeated streak because in social media, they got you feeling that way. Once
Yep.
Tio lost, he was free to challenge himself. When he went into that fight with Shakur, Tio even said it. I want to challenge myself amongst the best. That's exactly what he did. He got his ass whooped in the fight, but he did challenge himself. Tio,
Yeah.
I
I
gotta
think
commend him for
Cepeda.
that.
Cepeda
I
is the best style to fight Shakur. Volume. You have to overwhelm him with volume.
but he
You
beat the
know?
shit out of Cepeda.
Oh yeah, because Cepeda don't have power, that much power either. But that's the best way to go against him
I don't
with
think so. I
volume.
don't think so. I don't think so. No, but I don't think so. You know why I don't think that that's the best
Why?
style to beat Shakur? Because Shakur helped him. Shakur stood in front of him to prove a point. Without Shakur proving, you let Shakur move the way he wants to,
Oh
he
no.
fucking dances around Cepeda. That style wouldn't even look great. What made that fight intriguing is that Shakur was willing to fight Cepeda in his own style. He beat Cepeda in his own fighting style, which made the fight interesting and made Cepeda get that little punch off. But to tell you the truth, if you allow Shakur Stevenson to beat Shakur Stevenson, Cepeda doesn't even look that good against him. But people would have called it boring. People would have said,
Yeah,
"Oh, Shakur, you're moving too fast." But Cepeda would have never touched Shakur. The only
yeah.
reason why he had success against him is because Shakur, mira, se le paró right there, right in front of him, like this. He went, "Come on," and
Because
that's
I
what made him look good.
I noticed that because in American fan and stuff like that, they like their boxers to move and stuff, but they don't like their boxers to be doing laps. They like more like a Pernell Whitaker style.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
black American, because
yeah,
I've been in the shot. I love to be everywhere. So
yep.
what I learned, like they like more a style like Pernell Whitaker than a
Round
Floyd
one,
Mayweather, or
Cepeda would have
the late
always
years.
touched Shakur.
Where
Cepeda
I
did better than Tio. Cepeda, like I said, Cepeda did better than Tio only because Shakur literally stood in front of him. Now, you're in a fight with Cepeda and Shakur. You're talking about the guy that got a world record for the most punches ever thrown in that weight division, right? Cepeda.
Yep.
Is he going to hit Shakur? Probably so. Even if Shakur, you know, I'm not saying that Shakur's a superhuman. He would have just hit Cepeda and Cepeda would have been so lost. Oh my God, so overwhelmed. No. Cepeda would have got his fair licks in the fight if you let Shakur fight him the way style, but Shakur would have picked him apart way better. The only reason why Cepeda looked better than Tio because Shakur didn't fight Tio's fight. Shakur fought his fight against Tio. Shakur was being Shakur. Shakur didn't fight Cepeda being Shakur. Shakur fought Cepeda wanting to prove a point. He chose to fight him at his fighting style. He fought him there, used the shoulder roll, slipped his punches, stood in the pocket. Shakur Stevenson does not fight like that. He's never fought like that. So you obviously got to take into account, yeah, Cepeda, you look better than Tio, because you had help. Shakur literally stood in front of you. He didn't do that with Tio. He couldn't do that with Tio. If he did that shit with Tio, there was a chance Tio could put Shakur down in that fight. Let Shakur Stevenson stand in front of Tio like he did with William Cepeda. See what the fuck happens. See if Tio don't got the power to put Shakur down. You're not gonna play. Cepeda didn't have that kind of power, so he stood in front of him. But
I
Tio,
want to watch that fight,
nah.
Cepeda versus Tio.
If Shakur would have fought him, like I'm trying to tell you, Tio's a dog. Tio's a dog. It's just that, for Tio's all his fucking antics, you could get turned off by what he says out of his mouth. Because I'm not a real like Tio supporter or Tio fan because I could care less about him, right? But I don't let what his mouth says and his antics outside of boxing dilute my perception I have him as a fighter. When I talk about Tio, I'm only talking about Tio as a fighter. I can care two fucks about what he does with his personal life and anything else. Because for me, I don't like the guy. I don't like his antics. I don't like his fucking stupid jokes. I don't like his fucking dry humor. I don't like nothing about him. I don't like nothing about him. But just because I don't like those things about him doesn't mean I'm going to talk down about the guy. That doesn't mean that I'm going to support to let's end him in boxing. No, Tio's great for boxing. He's fucking great for boxing.
Hell yeah.
And
Cepeda, Tio, that's a good fight.
If you ask me, yeah, I wouldn't mind watching, seeing him get his ass whooped again. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can humble this sucker. You know what I mean? But Tio's dangerous. He's dangerous. Tio, listen, let me tell you something, gentlemen. I might not like him, but here at Round One Sports Talk, I'm bound by the truth. I can't, there's only one way I know how to be. It's real. I might not be correct, but I'm speaking what I really feel. And I'm not going to shit on a guy because I don't like you. Right? I'm going to speak the truth. And I'm going to tell you right now, Tio has impressed me a lot throughout boxing. If you can get this far with just God-given talent and no great training, Tio is the definition of talent. He did this all off talent. That's it. And like, I'm sitting here and I watch him fight and I just be like, damn, Tio, bro, you did some shit. You did some shit. So,
mira, pues aquí RL67, he says something like, I like it. He said, yeah, Shakur say he did that, but let's be real, Cepeda pressure had him backing up all the way on the ropes. Cepeda figured out Shakur's front foot placement. Tio could not even figure that out.
No. But it was easier to figure out Shakur's front foot placement when his front foot was right in front of you. When he was in front of Tio, his front foot was hopping. It was switching angles, trajectories, way to come in. Tio couldn't figure that shit out. When he was just stepping with the front foot with Cepeda, he was just stepping forward. And he started like figuring Shakur out because round by round, Shakur went right to him. He met him right at the front door every round. He went boop, 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 boop. So it made it a little bit easier for Cepeda. And shouts out to Cepeda for capitalizing in some of these moments. You know, that Mexican dude, he knows how to fight. And he staggered. You guys saw it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I got two eyes. Did he not stagger Shakur Stevenson against that rope, guys?
Yeah.
Did William Cepeda, that was a punch. He talked about he tripped. He was off balance. Nah, dog. He caught you. He caught you out of position.
It's boxing.
He caught you out of position and he hit you upside your head and it made you stagger. He wobbled you, kid. That's it, right? So, you know, but fighters are not going to admit to that. They're not going to admit to it.
No.
But it was just a different fight, gentlemen. It was just a different fight entirely. The way that Shakur fought William Cepeda versus the way he fought Tio. It can give you the impression that William Cepeda did better than Tio. And we feel that, right? Okay. But if you take the fact that you hate Tio so much out of the equation, It'll allow you to see the truth. Like, for instance, William Cepeda, I don't think he won one round against Shakur. Technically, they might have gave him one or two, and that's the same thing that Teal did. So he didn't actually fight Shakur Stevenson like you guys are claiming better. Because if we go back and we look at the scorecards, that was a shutout. He whooped William Cepeda every round. And although you see the staggering and you saw a couple moments and what led you to believe, man, William Cepeda did way better than Tio. No, technically not. Technically, you both got your asses both whooped bad. Neither of you won 3 rounds against that man. Not one of you. So if you just, that's why I allow myself not to be a fan of boxers and take sides. If you hear me talking shit about one, just wait for 5 minutes. You'll see the positive I also say about them. Because I don't put myself in a box. Because here at Round One Sports Star, I have a job. And my job is to present boxing to you. I don't have a horse in the race. And I don't pick a guy or have favorite because my channel's not based off 1 or 2 boxers. I have a boxing channel that allows me to see fighters such as Teal and Shakur and a lot of these other fighters that got these stigma names on them, pillow fisted. And I'm sitting here like, yo, I don't know what the fuck you guys are getting your information from. But everybody that said that Devin Haney was pillow fisted never fought him. Never fought him in the ring. And he got this stigma. And I was like, I'm sitting here telling you guys, like, where do you guys get this from? How do you, like, and then you guys do realize typically normal boxing standard career, you get your knockouts in the beginning of your career. As your competition gets better, the knockouts lessen. Yep. And if you're that guy, if you're him, and you prove yourself to be the best among the best, then the knockouts continue.
Yep.
You see? That's when you enter the next level where that, no, he's really hit like that guy, that knockout kind of guy. So, you know,
like
so
Xander can knock out people with
Puerto Rico
the hook to the liver.
Here we go.
To the liver. But bro, it's not by he not knocking out people, right? Like they're calling him food. Other people say he's pillow fisted, and I see his punches. He hit, and he got assimilation too, because I see boxer like clip him and stuff, and he stay food and he fight forward. But I think he need to start working in how he gonna knock out these people to hook to the livers. You know, that left hook to the liver that is so good from him, and because it's not you ended up like Devin Haney. Like I know they got power. The Devin had shown a couple of times just with the jab. He sent people to the canvas, but he don't finish it up. And you need to finish your fights. You cannot let always the referee.
Right. Vince,
the judges.
Vince says, okay, let's start off. He said, whoa. He said, Andrew Johnson says, and he whooped Teal every round. And then the other guy says, 702 says, Shakur dominated fights. He's going to have answers for a lot of styles. Vincent says, watch the fight again. That's not true. Teal looked bad. Look at his face. Oh, as far as damage wise, yeah, Teal took the worser ass whooping. I could say that. As far as Cepeda doing better or fairer, you know them Mexican dudes, they got that leather skin. It's hard to bust them up. You know what I mean?
And Teal always ended up ugly.
You smack Teal like, and he'll have like a red mark. He has like those kind of faces.
He always ended up with the cut in front of his face, under his eyes. He's always ended up with that cut.
A lot easier, I noticed. Cepeda can get hit. Farmer hit him flat like boom, and
nothing.
Solid. Like You know the Mexican dudes, bro. They got that iron fucking face.
Yep.
It's hard to bust them up for real. Real talk. Man. That's why I love them. That's
Yeah,
why
that's it.
they some of the top best fighters in the game. Mexico fighters, except
Yeah.
Bobos. Bobos is the only guy that sucks. You know.
Yeah, Bobo sucks. Bobo sucks. But that's why the Puerto Rico was the one who bring the hook to the liver because the freaking
Yo,
Mexican
Bobos, I
face
needed
was
to
so
laugh, man.
hard.
You're the best.
Like not even with cinder blocks you can knock these motherfuckers to the face. You have to hit the liver always
No
with
one
them.
no one at the level is pillow fisted, but there are fighters who sit down on their punches and utilize their power. Yes, when you sit down and it's you know, and yo, in all this shit, that's what I talk about boxing, the purity of boxing. That not all these guys can do these things. Sometimes fighters, here comes low nose boxing. You know he bringing up Tio.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of these boxers, right? What up, Low? Sometimes
Yo,
some of
first,
these sometimes
yo,
some of these boxers sit down on their punches. One second, Low. He gets down on it, they sit down on their punches and they do all these things. But that's what I mean. It comes with years of repetition and shit. Not all these guys are the same. Not everybody can make a read. Not everybody understands how to set up punches. And that's the development in boxing. What's up, low nose boxing?
yo,
Talk to me.
first off, I want to send you and your family my deepest condolences,
Thank you,
prayers
brother.
all the time. I don't know what you're going through because I've never lost a child, but one of my good friends in Philadelphia a few years ago, he lost his 19-year-old son in a car accident, and I
Oh,
seen how it messed him up a lot. So I'm just
yeah.
it's not easy. So my prayers are with you and your family, bro.
Thank
That's all
you.
I have to say. You know what I'm saying? Definitely,
Thank you.
definitely.
And what do you think about the situation with Xander and Devin and you
I'm gonna
know
be real with you. A lot of people, I mean, I went against Devin with the Brian Norman Jr. fight. I learned my lesson with that. It's hard to pick against Devin unless it's with a Shakur or one of the Kings. But I would say that Xander Zayas definitely poses a different type of challenge because most back foot fighters don't know how to fight on the front foot. Xander Zayas, if he boxes Devin from the outside, uses his range, uses his mobility, that would be something different that Devin has never seen before. But Devin has more experience. But I believe Xander Zayas is a much more difficult fight than what Brian Norman Jr. was for Devin. Do I believe that fight's gonna happen? No, I don't. I don't believe it's gonna happen. I think Keyshawn might get the fight, but if it happens, that'll be perfect for Madison Square Garden. Bill Haney
hmm
painted somewhat how you doing a villain art towards the Latin fighters, but I look past that. I know Bill Haney is not racist. Well, Bill
no he's
Haney
not.
was no, it's not, and I've spoken to Bill
No.
personally. Bill Haney is basically doing what Tio did in a way. When Tio did the Puerto Rican thing, he meant it towards today's Puerto Rican fighters. What Bill Haney meant was towards the Latino fighters around Devin's divisions, like Tio, like Sabril, like Ryan, like Xander. He
What
gave props to
no
David Benavidez,
no
But
and he gave props to the legends. You feel what I'm saying? That's what
no I think
yeah,
what Bill is doing is stirring the pot. He's doing
yeah,
promoter shit. He's he's
because
But
he's
Bill's right.
causing
No, no,
he's
Bill.
you're ruffling feathers for a future fight so that you can get the people interested. Bill
But
Haney
Bill's right though.
understands. You see, Bill Haney understands promotion. He understands that not all promotion talk has to be positive. It could be negative too, but you're still talking about
Yeah,
us.
but you
yeah,
need to know how to do it,
You see,
like
no,
like
well,
yeah.
Bill.
yeah, he doesn't have no style to do it. He's gonna do it distasteful, sometimes tasteful. He'll
Yeah,
do it
but we
whatever way.
understand it because he's from a brother from another mother. Teofimo, when he did it, bro, you are not even a brother. You are
Right,
just a guy that we let you stay in our house. So
right,
so
right,
we
right,
know how
right,
to
right. I
take
get
it.
it.
Like
I
like
get it. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, I respect
well,
that. I
but
respect
but I
that.
have to, but I do agree with Bill to an extent as far as and um, it's not just towards the Latin fighters. Everybody's ducking Debo. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's
Yeah, but
ducking,
I got to give you a little
and
pushback, low. I got to give you a little pushback on a couple
I'm not
things.
even a Debo supporter. But I
Listen,
got to keep
listen.
it real.
Yeah,
My guy ducked him. My guy ducked him. Nobody wants to fight him. Shakur doesn't have the same energy towards him. It's like Shakur for me, he's our people as well. At the end of the day, listen, I'm not a Devin fan, but I respect the shit out of him. Devin Haney's moving like an old school fighter, and he don't fight like Debo, but his attitude is Debo. He's pressing people. He's the easiest fighter to make a fight with. There's no back and forth negotiation stalling. Sign your name. Let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And I want Xander to take that fight because that's a fight that can catapult Xander to a new level of stardom. If he fights Devin Haney at Madison Square Garden, including with all the promotion that Bill is doing, imagine how big that shit would be. We haven't seen
Not
nothing
that
like that in the
big.
garden.
It's que Devin Haney isn't that big in the black community. If you go to the black community and you talk to them, like they will tell you that Devin Haney barely have fan base in the West Coast. Now, if you talk about Boots Ennis, now the black community gonna pop up and gonna come out and gonna support him
Yeah,
way
but
more.
Devin's still a villain though.
No,
Devin is still a
never,
villain.
never. Devin
Okay,
Haney
But he's
went
okay,
a
with
villain.
Ryan
okay.
Garcia over there, and that was a disaster. They even
Yeah, but
sell
still,
out
the
even
point is,
3,000 seats.
you know how many? Yeah, but you know how many Puerto Ricans are gonna show up to see
Oh
Xander beat
yes,
Devin?
of course, because
They're
that's
trying to
what
watch
Devin
that.
Haney do, like a leech, like a
Listen,
tick. He
you
get
remember
into the dog.
Cotto? Hold on.
Yo, check it
Remember the
out, guys.
Cotto
Check it out,
fight?
guys. Check it out. Wait, low. I want to answer something you said about Devin and that Devin's gonna go up and that like in a sense you were talking like Devin's the A side here and that Xander is a lesser skilled fighter. That's what I got from you. That you have Devin highly
I didn't
favored
say
in this
nothing about
fight.
his side.
And
I
my
didn't say
thing
nothing
is
about
this. My thing is this, right? I weigh in all the elements because I really gotta like look into the fight. And I'm weighing in the fact that Devin's coming up a new weight. He's coming up to a weight division where the gloves change from 8 to 10. If Devin can't crack with 8-ounce gloves and Xander's doing that with 10-ounce gloves on his hands, when you get up here, this is a big weight jump. When Xander actually gets in the ring and he's fighting these guys at 154 on fight night, what are they weighing? 175, 170 something on fight night? So when Devin gets up here and I'm adding up all the math and I'm saying, those are not the same size gloves. These are big boy gloves. And you haven't even fought a guy with those gloves to adjust to how to punch a guy in the guard way. How much of a difference that makes from openings. And you think you're just going to make this huge weight jump, new gloves, new equipment, new weight division. You're that nice, you think, Devin. What makes you think that Devin's such a powerful force that he can take this young 23-year-old kid that apparently Abbas Baru fought like a great fight against, and it showed that Xander got a chin. He has fortitude. He can survive the storm. What kind of storm is an 10 ounce coming up in weight, Devin Haney, gonna do to Xander? Now that, my friends, that one I would have to see. Rather than try to sell it to me, that is something I would really want to see. And I invite Bill Haney and Devin and anybody else in the rest of the world that really thinks that Devin can pull some shit like that off. I would like to see it. This is something because even Terrence Crawford had a fight at 154 to fight Ismail to get used to those gloves before he did that Saul shit. And Terrence Crawford couldn't knock out Ismail because the gloves were bigger. So Devin, you got the same fucking problem.
It works because
I don't
Devin
think
don't carry the power of Crawford anyway.
we'll
Xander
see.
have Xander. No. I said Devin doesn't have both Crawford's power, and Xander, even though Xander hasn't been knocking dudes out. Hold on, let me mute myself. Hold on. I'm outside. There's a lot of noise around me. Can you hear me good or no? Let me know.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, we
Okay.
hear you.
See, Xander, one thing Xander also has that he does good, he might not be the biggest puncher, but he has respectable power. And he knows how to fight on the mid range. He definitely is more of an outside range fighter. When he gets close, he ties you up. Xander just added that to his game. He knows how to fight from the out range with the jab, keep his distance, but he also does the Puerto Rican thing. He fights. He could fight in the mid range and dig to the body with them hooks,
What
and
the
that's a
hell?
whole other element that
Yeah.
he brings to the table. And I really see that. I really like Xander's chances of winning this fight. You know what I'm saying? It's just hard to pick against Devin, but I like Xander's chances. And I might fucking lean towards Xander in this one because, like I said, you're not just fighting a bigger guy. You're fighting a bigger guy that can move around the ring and box. It's hard to beat somebody like that. You're moving up and weight, and you're not even a puncher. You feel me? You're fighting a bigger guy that can box, and don't be surprised if Xander could even clip him. Because even though Xander's not the biggest puncher, Xander still got respectable power. And let's not forget, Devin doesn't have the best chin in the world. Now, people are going to say, oh, but he didn't get knocked out by Brian Norman. He really didn't get hit with big shots in that fight. And the times when he did, he looked like he was shaking a little bit and he was holding on. Xander can clip him, especially if they're
Yeah, but
going in
you
there
see,
thinking that.
my thing is this. My thing is this. Devin went from 140 to 147. He dropped Brian Norman Jr. But those are the same ounce gloves. Once you pass 147 to 154, the gloves are bigger. They're
Yeah,
10-ounce gloves at 154. They're 8-ounce gloves at 147. So when he put down Brian Norman Jr., he was still fighting in 8-ounce gloves. Devin Haney. In order
and
to
Brian
fight
Norman's
Xander,
already
you're
a
going to
guy
have to
that's been
get
down
10
before.
ounce gloves. And then the weight jump is huge. You see, if we were talking about a weight jump from 122 to 126, that's 4 pounds. You're taking a weight jump from 147 to 154. All right. And then on top of that, add the 13 or 14 pounds the fighters, because they're cutting weight. Once they make weight, what are they actually entering the ring on fight night? So Xander's coming in anywhere between 170, 175. These guys are Abbas Baru came in like he gained like 20 some pounds on that night when he fought Xander. So you really think Dev Dollars, Dream, Debo, Haney, he's that much that he's been cutting all this that he's gonna get up to 154, put on those new gloves. When the gloves are bigger, the opportunities are smaller. When the gloves are smaller, your hands are faster. You can hit harder with 8-ounce gloves. And you mean to tell me he's gonna do what? So there's a problem.
I hope
That
Xander takes that fight. I love this fight for Xander. This is really a
Oh,
star-making fight.
oh, no. No, what I was trying to say, like with 10 ounce glove, it's hard to keep it up. Your hands go down after the sixth round
Yeah, and
because they're
Devin ain't never
heavier.
faced that. And Devin
No,
ain't cracking like that with 8-ounce gloves. He's gonna crack like that with 10-ounce gloves. So he's gonna bring that Brian Norman Jr. power to up here with 10-ounce gloves and 26 extra pounds.
bro,
Bro,
and
I gotta
and
see that shit. I gotta
and
see that shit to believe it. I gotta
it's
see
not.
that shit to believe it, bro.
And then moving 12 rounds like he
I
like to
can't
move
judge Devin
with
Haney
more weight.
for fighting Brian Norman Jr. with those gloves. And get the hell out of here, bro. The equipment changes.
Everything changed. The size changed.
Yo, that's a different kind of jump. Terrence Crawford went from 147. He stopped at 154 and fought Ismail first. Then he
And
went to fight Terrence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez.
and
You
one of
see?
the Puerto Rican style is closing exits
And
and
hey, yo, Malasa, and the great Terrence Crawford that was he was actually on an 11 fight knockout streak and world title fights coming into
close the
that
ring
Ismail
and
fight.
close the exit. Cut
The
the ring and
great,
close the exit. That was what
yeah,
I was trying to say.
the great Terrence Crawford couldn't knock out Ismail because those gloves were too big and too uncomfortable. He had to fight his angle and learn how to punch with those big puffier gloves.
Yep.
Yo, one, I want to ask you a question real quick. I don't mean to divert the conversation slightly.
Mm-hmm.
If you was if you was Tio's team, what should be next for him? I mean, besides the trainer thing, because we all can agree that he needs a new high trainer. What's a good opponent for him next?
For
Another
Teofimo
name.
Lopez,
Yes.
okay. Tio got some options, kid. Okay, so are we
Yeah, a
talking about
lot.
Tio? Wait. Okay, are we talking about Tio that we're in agreement that he should stay at 140, or this rumor that he should
It's,
go up to 147?
No,
Which
he
way?
don't. He
it's up,
don't need to go up there. 147
it's
is
up,
too big for him.
it's up to you. Me personally, if it was up to me, I think I think he stay at 140. I think he beats the shit out of Dalton Smith right now, even coming off of a loss, in my opinion. I think he beats Dalton Smith easily because Dalton Smith looked like he was getting hit up by Superreal. He looked like he was on the verge of probably getting worn out. And I think Teal would really tattoo Dalton Smith if he stays at
Teal's got a
140.
lot of good fights. Teal still's got a lot of good fights. Teal still's got a good name. He's
I
one of
don't
the
think he
four
beats
horsemen in
Dalton Smith.
boxing. I think that Teofimo Lopez can get a bounce back fight and really get himself back into title contention. I think a good fight with Gary Antoine Russell, Richard Hitchens. I would welcome any of those champions.
Yeah.
I would
That's
even
dangerous
welcome.
coming off of a loss, in my opinion. I think Richardson and Gary Antoine Russell right now off of a loss. Me
No,
personally,
no,
I
no, no, no.
wouldn't.
You
I wouldn't do it.
listen, low. Pay attention to what I said. Pay
Yeah.
attention to what I said.
Listen,
I
listen.
said I said, get him a tune-up fight back into title contention, then go after these champions. I didn't say right away. I want Tio to take a lesser fight, so that's what we're shopping around for right now.
Yeah.
He's already beaten Sando Martin, Oscar
A name, but
Duarte. I
not
don't
too
think is
too
a name
dangerous.
for him. Um,
Delgado,
Lindolfo
Lindolfo
Delgado is a
Delgado.
fighter I
That's
would stay
What's the
away
tune-up
from.
fight for him?
no.
What's the tune-up fight
Lindolfo
for him?
Delgado is perfect for Teofimo. Lindolfo, that's
Ah,
perfect for him. That's
that's
perfect.
Yeah, but who's
nah.
gonna pay for that? That's the thing. We live in a day and age where promoters are not paying for just any fight, which brings me to something interesting. The only one, the closest thing to a tune-up level fight that I think they would pay for because of the history would be a
Okay.
Cambosos rematch.
No, mira, pero que Lindolfo versus Teofimo in Texas. That shit sell by him in Florida. That shit sell is a easy sell.
You know what? Lo, you got my attention. You got
California,
my
Las
attention,
Vegas.
Lo. You said something interesting. You said that there would be a good fight with him, George and Camboza, to get
And
the rematch.
yeah,
For one, it would
Well,
give Tio the opportunity to revenge that loss,
yep.
right? For one, right?
That's good for his mental state too.
Then it would prove to the world that Tio can beat this guy and shut him up.
Everybody believes he can beat him, but the thing
Yeah,
is,
no, but you
it's
got
a
to
good
do it. You
tune-up
got
to
to do it
have.
because,
Yeah,
and then the rematch, I think it will do good money out there in Australia. You
yeah,
put
and
the fight
maybe
in
here too.
Australia, I think that the fight would do good out there. I
Yeah.
don't think that the fight is a main event. I think it'll be under an undercard somewhere, of
in
course.
Australia, the main
In
event.
Australia is the main event.
Well, no, I'm not. Well, in
Yeah,
Australia, it would be a
Camboso,
main
yeah,
event, but in New
Camboso is
York,
a
it
big.
won't be. In New
No,
York, I'm
no, no,
sorry.
no,
In New
no,
York,
no,
it will not be a main event. In
no, no,
Australia, it might
no.
be. Yes, you're
Yes.
right. You're right. Yes.
It could be a co-main event in New York. It could be on a turkey card or something like that, or some.
Yeah,
It
that's
could
what I
be,
mean. It's not going to be an event. It's not going to be the main event in New York.
No,
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 it'll be
and
a
no.
that's a fight
co-main
where
event or somewhere on the card type shit
Yep,
where we have like
yep.
the Ryan Garcia card where there's multiple fights on that card that could have headlined.
Yeah.
The
It
and,
will
Gary
be like
Antoine
a
that's a
fifth.
Russell
fight.
and that Andy Oroka would have headlined in Japan, bro.
And
Yep.
that's a fight where if Teal's dialed in, the way Teal should be dialed in, I could see him getting his first stoppage that he hasn't had in a while. I could see him getting Cambosos out of there in 6 rounds,
Yeah,
within
he
I
six
would
has
rounds.
like
to
that
If he
fight for
wins.
him when George Campbell. Man, I actually like that.
because
I
Yeah,
would actually welcome that for a
that's the
tune-up fight
closest
for
thing
Tio
to
to
a
come
tuna.
back.
That's the
Yeah,
closest thing to a tuna
uh,
yeah,
because even though
yeah. I would actually like that. Yeah, and I
Brian
would like
Norman
to
is
see
not
him
a
get that
tuna.
lick back. Yeah,
Brian
yeah.
Norman is
So
mira,
not a tuna.
look what Fifo said. Fifo said New York,
in June,
Teofimo.
Tio
Yeah,
versus Subriya Matias.
that's just too
Awesome
No,
early.
fight.
no,
That's
I
a
don't like
tough
that.
fight, though.
I don't like
That's
that
a
Yeah,
either.
tough fight.
hell
He
yeah.
doesn't like that fight because it's a fight that he could lose.
No,
That's
I'm
a
gonna tell you why I don't like it,
50-50.
Ron. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it, right? I'm gonna tell
That's
you
a
why I don't like
title
it, right?
fight. Basically, that's a title fight
No,
without a
I'm
title.
gonna tell you why.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell
That's
you
what
why I
that
don't
is.
like it. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it. Um, it could be dangerous based on how Teal fight. If Teal fights the way he fought Claggett, is dangerous. But the reason why I don't like it is because you're also now you're having a barometer fight because the way Subriel lost, with all due respect, I know that's your guy. He got stopped in 5 rounds. So now you have to outperform that. At least if Tio was to fight Brian Norman Jr., Devin went
Yep.
12, and he only landed 70 punches. Tio got a chance to say, let me see if I could do better than Devin. How are you going to top what Dalton Smith did? Unless you go in there and knock him out in 1 round. So you're putting yourself at the
Yeah,
risk.
this is
It's like,
boxing.
hold on, real quick,
This is
real quick.
boxing. That's
What
how
It's like
about
when
Henry
legends are
Thurman,
Cedeño?
hold on,
What
created.
about Henry
hold on.
Cedeño for Tio? Henry
It's
This is
like,
how
Cedeño.
legends are created.
it's like
You
when
know, if you
Thurman
want to
fought.
be a
Hold on, hold
legend
on.
and people talk about you in 20 years, you have to do
It's
shit like that.
It's like
Yeah.
when Thurman fought. It's like when Thurman fought Mario Barrios. That was a bad move because now you're competing with
Oh,
a
that's
featherweight.
right.
No, but the thing is, Subriel got knocked out 5 rounds. So
For
Tio at this
what?
point,
Eh?
yeah, but Subriel has to go for more of a tune-up because you want to fight some. At least with Brian Norman, you're fighting a guy that was just a champion that lost the decision just like you did, and you have a
Listen,
chance to
yeah,
gain
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Cabrón.
Tio,
If you go
listen,
in there
listen,
and
listen.
get
Subriel
12,
Okay, wait, wait,
sold
wait, 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 wait.
7.
Everybody slow down. Slow down. Okay,
Yeah.
first of all, that Tio fight versus Sabrina Matias, that would be the definition of a title fight without a belt. That
Yeah.
would be the definition of a title fight. They just wouldn't be fighting for a belt. But
That's
that's
where
what the
money's made.
caliber of that kind of fight would be. Now, if you're talking about, all right, you don't want
Money.
such a fight like that for Tio right away.
if
Okay,
Subriel
I
would have
can
won 12
respect that.
rounds, at least, if
I
Subriel would
can
have won
respect
12,
that.
it
I
would
can
have never won
respect that.
12.
But wait. Let me ask you another fighter. Let me
Go
ask you
ahead.
another fighter. What about Henry Cedeño for Tio?
Henry
I don't really know too
Cedeño.
much. Is he a prospect?
Henry Cedeño, no, he's not a prospect no more. He's a contender. He's in the top
Yeah.
10 now.
No. Like I said, right?
He's a
Why?
contender.
The
He's a
toughest name I would
contender.
take.
He's not a prospect anymore.
The toughest name, the
No, you don't
best
want Tio to
level.
fight nobody, bro. What do you want me to
No,
get
no,
my
no.
grandfather in a
No.
wheelchair so he can fight him
That's
so he
why
can
he
get a
asked
win?
Camboso because everybody
Come
No,
beat
no,
on,
no.
Camboso
bro.
I
already.
said Dalton Smith.
Because
I
everybody
put
beat Camboso, everybody knock
no,
He
out
no.
doesn't
Camboso
deserve
at this
Dalton
point.
Smith
I
shit.
would
Even
take
Trust me.
Dalton Smith.
You can pack
even
that shit up.
Hitchens
Low
that
nose boxing.
nobody,
You can
no,
pack that Dalton Smith. Try that little campaign you got. Like, oh, he
yeah.
said,
I would
man,
take
he
Dalton
don't
Smith.
deserve one. He's coming off a loss. He got to earn his
Ryan
way
Garcia,
back.
yeah, but round one, Ryan Garcia came coming off fucking loss and he got a title fight.
Yeah, but
Yup.
Ryan Garcia got something Tio don't got. Star status.
Both. And both.
Tio
You
fucking did
see?
$1.2 million pay per view. What are you talking
Bro,
about?
look what Ryan Garcia did. He lost against Roddy Romero. He don't went for the easy fight. He went for the champion. And you
Well,
want that
that's what I'm
Teofimo
saying.
after a loss. You want
And you want
Teofimo
to know
after a
something?
loss go against an old man like Camboso that everybody
You didn't hear
knocked
what
him
I just
out
said.
because
I
you
just
want
said,
that easy fight. You want an easy fight for Teofimo
no,
after
but
he lost?
you just
At
heard,
least
you
Ryan
heard me say
Garcia
Dalton
went for a
Smith.
champion. You see what a man he is? He's
But you heard
American.
what
He
I
went
said?
for a champion.
You
You
missed
want
what I said,
Teofimo?
though, bro.
Yo,
Other
Yeah.
hold on, you missed
low.
what
You're
I
down
said.
bad
Dalton
right
Smith.
now. You don't want none of the
I
fights.
just
You
said
don't want
Dalton
none of
Smith,
the
bro.
fights
What are you
we
talking
got.
about? I just said Dalton Smith. I'll take Dalton Smith off of a fucking loss, bro.
You're not
If
gonna
Ryan
get down.
Garcia,
Wait, hold on, wait. Low. First of all, let's just talk honestly here. It's not my fucking fault that Tio's a knucklehead and he decided
Yeah.
to rock with the WBO. All right, and Ryan Garcia decided to rock with the WBC. The WBC has a board member of 32 members where they elect their next fighter. It's not a ranking system per se. Now, if Ryan Garcia fucks with the WBC and he's coming off a loss, and because of publicity and because of this belt, and understands that boxing is a business disguised as a sport, don't try to cover that up and hide that because Ryan Garcia is more fortunate to take title fights, that your boy Tio deserves a title fight with Dalton Smith. He never had relationships with the WBC. This is the third time Ryan is fighting for a WBC. He had the WBC silver. He tried to fight Devin Haney for his WBC. He missed weight. And now he's fighting for a WBC now.
let me ask you a question, round one.
So it's
But
not my fault that Tio decided to go down this belt's ranking thing. That's not, he said
but think
Tio
about
doesn't
Dalton Smith,
deserve
though.
that fight.
But think about Dalton Smith. Right now, that's a big fight for Dalton Smith because that don't even got to be in the UK because you
No,
got
it's
both.
not.
Dalton
No, it's
Smith,
not.
Dalton Smith knocked
No,
out
it's
Teofimo in
not.
3 rounds.
No,
The
it's
UK
not his big fight for
Nacho.
Dalton Smith to fight. No, hell
No.
no. Dalton
the
Smith got
Garden.
better options.
What
Yeah,
options you
way
got?
better
Shakur's not gonna
options.
fight
He's
him.
the
He can fight a
champion.
champion. He
He's
can fight
the
a
champion.
champion. He can fight He can fight a
Russell,
guy. How about if
Hitchens.
wait, Malasa, espérate. How about if Dalton Smith fights a guy coming off of a win?
Yeah.
Not a guy
It's
coming
not
off
going to
of
be
a
bigger than
loss.
Tio. Tio
Yes,
just
it
did
will
Yes.
be.
1.2. He just did 1.2
Bro,
pay-per-view,
Theo don't
1
sell
million.
tickets.
He sold out the
Theo,
Yeah,
Garden.
Theo
What
but
are we
don't.
talking about? He
He
sold
don't
yeah,
out the
sold
but he
out
Garden with
had
Shakur.
nothing.
Shakur
He,
Stevenson
bro,
with
he don't
him.
sold out
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
Turkey
but imagine
Alashik
him.
sold it. Turkey Alashik was the one who made the ring event and sold the tickets
Yeah, but
and
the
used
fighters
the
did.
guys as entertainment. No. The promotion did. The promotion sell this car as a big star car.
Yeah,
You
but
have to
the
understand how
UK
the
is gonna
business
show
works.
up though.
No. These names like the Ryan
Yeah,
Garcia
but they
car.
had a lot of great fights on the card
You
too.
know,
So
it wasn't just Teofimo Lopez
it
because
wasn't
you put
just Teofimo
Teofimo
and
over
Shakur.
there.
No, it
Plus,
wasn't.
Tio
It
had
was
a
the
Teofimo
great
dance
have
dancing
partner.
partner.
Yo,
He had
Teofimo
Shakur
have more than
Stevenson.
five main events that he don't sell tickets. He need the money of Turkey Alashik to sell tickets. He cannot sell 7,000 tickets like Subriel Matias did by himself. Okay, that's
1.2
the
is a fake
difference.
number.
Ruben Matias is not a draw. He don't sell no tickets.
Sergey
What are we talking
No,
about?
bro, he
tickets.
sold 90%
Dalton
of
is
all the
bad for
tickets
Tio.
sold
He's
in the
better
Barclays
than
Center.
Puello
Why you
and
saying? And you
Camboza.
don't saw that he sold over 100,000 pay-per-views? Papa, you need to read and you need to research
All right,
and
hold
look
on.
for
Let me read the chat.
information.
Let me read my chat.
Subriel
All right,
Matias is a
Vincent
bigger
here
draw than
is
Teofimo
typing
Lopez
away.
20 times.
All right, Vincent here is
Dios
typing
mío.
away. He says Camboza is easy. Hitchin didn't knock anyone out. Ryan takes the good fights though. He can't beat Dalton. That's bad. A bad matchup. Dalton is a bad fight for Tio. He's better than Puello and Camboza. And then Mick says 1.2 is a fake number. And then Vincent says Turkey gave out tickets.
Tio's
So
the third biggest Latino name in boxing after Ryan and after David Benavidez. Teofimo and Canelo. Teofimo's the next one out of all of them. Those are the big Latino names in boxing. Teofimo, Canelo, David Benavidez, and Ryan Garcia. Subriel's not a bigger draw than Tio, bro. I'm sorry. I'm Puerto Rican too, también, but bro, that's delusional. There's no fucking way Subriel Matias is bigger than Tio. If that's the case, why didn't they even put him in Madison Square Garden? Subriel Matias is not a bigger draw than Teofimo. Hell no.
Okay. Stop right there. Stop right there with the false advertisement. I can't let that slide. Okay. The reason why Tio fought in the Garden is because of Uncle Bob, Top Rank. Top Rank owns the Garden. Every time Bob Arum for his fucking prospect, he puts him in the Garden. Sometimes he puts him in the small room, the big room, the theater. But that's Bob Arum and Top Rank. That's how they treat their fighters. They rock in New York. That Bob Arum's a New Yorker. So don't try to come here and say if Subriel was bigger. No, Subriel doesn't fuck with Top Rank. And he doesn't have that connection that Bob Arum got a fucking tab with them. So
He
don't
was
try to
dropped by
use
Top
that.
Rank.
Don't
He got dropped by Top Rank. What are we talking about? Subriel was with Top Rank before they dropped him.
listen, but what okay, we all know this, but he wasn't with them during the signing of that fight when he fought in New York on a tennis court for the first time in boxing history in New York. So your boy never did no shit like that. Your boy Tio, he always goes where everybody else in the building. Elisa Brielle and his team, they had the fucking audacity to take the show on the road in New York and bring a different style and flavor to it. I was there too in attendance for that fight. It was amazing.
That wasn't his card, though. That wasn't his card.
He was he not on the card? Good enough for me. Good enough for me.
Tio was in Times Square then. Tio was in Times Square. What about that one?
Listen,
So
okay.
it wasn't the Barclays Center.
Times
That is
Square
newer.
in a box with no crowd and no one could see you on one
in the
fucking
street of New York, like a bomb.
Yeah,
in the street of New York over there with the homeless.
A world of a difference.
With the homeless.
A world of a difference. The box in the middle of a fucking street covered because man, listen, that
like
was
the
one
homeless
of the most
shelter.
shittiest cards and performances of the trash of the night of the century.
That was a bomb-ass card.
People don't even want to talk about that whole event. It was so trash. This guy's crazy. But
Tio stole the show.
I know one thing.
Stole
You're right about
show,
one thing.
bro. Nobody watched that shit.
Malasa, I'm talking. Check it out. I know one thing about Tio, right? That Tio is, I want to see him back. regardless of where he goes, I'm in agreement with one thing with you. Tio needs a decent name. I want him to get a good win. I don't necessarily feel he has to knock the guy out. A great performance will catapult him back in that trajectory. Tio, he does have a good fan base, a loyal fan base. I could say that much. The people that rock with him, they
Yeah,
gotta definitely
yeah,
rock with him with all the bullshit that comes from that man.
yeah.
Those are true fans.
Yep.
So I think that he has a great fan base. And I think Tio can be back in the mix. Listen, if Subriel Matias can lose his belt, come back and win it, Tio can do the same. Tio can do the same. I don't count
Cepeda.
Tio out. Listen, boxing is weird, guys. All of a sudden, I'm supposed to be watching this title fight, right? For hypothetical. I got a title fight. I don't know who the two fighters are. Just hypothetical situation. Then all of a sudden, one guy gets hurt. And then Tio's name gets called. Hey, Tio, are you ready? Yup, I'm ready. Goes in there, knocks the champion out, walks off with his belt. How many times have we seen that? A guy on 10 days notice, a guy on this steps up and says, hey, I'll take the fight. So boxing's weird like that. 1 minute, you're on the outside.
El Chulo Santiago.
Looking
El Chulo
in,
Santiago.
right? Listen, fight fans. When Tio lost it, when Subriel Matias lost his belt to Liam Paro, we were like, damn, when's the next time Subriel Matias is ever gonna get a title shot? And we're like watching him fight these tune-up fights, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Alberto Puello said, hey, Subriel, you outside, I'll give you a shot. He didn't have to do that. Alberto Puello did not have to do that. Alberto Puello wanted to prove to the world, you're not the boogeyman. I can beat you. That was some fucking real man champion shit right there. He gave Subriel, he took Subriel out of the realm. Same thing can happen for Tio.
No, you're right. And what I want,
step up and name.
Same situation.
And what I
Anybody
agree
could
with you,
be
I
out
want-
there and go, Tio. We could be saying, damn, Tio's never going to get a title shot. One of the champions out of nowhere says, Tio, I'll fight you.
One of the greatest things about boxing is like what you said, right? It emulates real life. In real life, on the good side and the bad side, you could be up 1 minute, you could be down.
Yeah,
And on the flip side, you could be down and you could be right back up. Let's not forget Devin Haney, how ridiculed he was after the Ryan fight. Let's be realistic. Let's forget about all what happened in court. Fuck that shit. We all know physically, on paper, he don't have a loss. But physically, he got a loss. He got his ass whooped. And then he had the performance with Ramirez. And then he had all this shit going on social media. He was the joke of the town. And one big performance, one good win, he's the fucking man. He's Debo. You know what I'm saying? So that could happen. That's how boxing is. What do you mean where? Bro, he beat Ryan. Nobody want to fight him.
Why you mean nobody want to fight him? Nobody want to travel to Saudi Arabia. First, nobody want to travel to Saudi Arabia because that's the only place he can fight because he don't sell tickets in the United States. Most of the Americans that are in the East Coast, they're behind Boots Ennis. They are not behind Devin, no Debo stuff. Like the people who are behind Debo is not even from the East Coast. You know? It's like very few people. They are all behind Shakur or they are behind Boots. But Devin don't have no love.
Well,
Devin have no love.
Devin is starting to like pick up because, like we say, this is a blood sport. One day you could be down, one day you can be up. When Devin Haney went out there and brought back that scalp, Brian Norman Jr., that was a good scalp. It was for a world title.
And it was a young scalp.
It was a young scalp. So Devin now, he could really pick up some more momentum.
Yes,
if
he
like
can.
in his next fight, he knocks somebody out with a decent name, whoever it is. Because that's where we're at. We're in a blood sport. And when we get the knockouts, we're happy again. You know how we are.
Yes.
You know, when you lose or you give it back, you suck, you're this, you're that. But you bring us blood, we'll love you again. So that's where a lot of these fighters are at. Tio, same place. Tio's down right now. You know, Ryan's down right now. Ryan's down. Ryan beats Mario Barrio, he'll be back on top of the world.
Exactly. That's how boxing is, right? It's like life.
He'll be
it's
back
like
on top of the world. Yep.
It's like a person that, let's say, he gets arrested, gets locked up, does some time, he comes out, his friend hooks him up with a good job, and he's right back on his feet, bro. In life, in life, you could be doing good in life, and then life hits you, and then times you can be doing bad in life, and something comes up, and that's just how it is, and that's
That's
how
how it
boxing.
is.
We seen
It's
Roberto Duran take the most humiliating loss any fighter can take, right? He said no mas, and then he lost again to Rafael Benitez, and then he lost again to a guy named Kirkland Lang. Everybody wrote him off. And let me tell you a story in the words of Ryan One, because you like to tell stories sometimes. Once upon a time, Roberto Duran stepped into the ring with a 24-year-old man by the name of Davey Moore, who
yep.
was who was a fighter who didn't have that many fights, but he was a decorated amateur that they moved him fast to become a world champion. Roberto Duran was an underdog in that fight. And Roberto Duran went in there and beat the brakes off of Davey Moore, right? Another story, he came back years later and beat up a man that knocked the man that knocked out
Cheerleader.
the guy that knocked him out. You know what I'm saying?
Cheerleader. Papi, pero yeah, Roberto Duran, but Sab Judah is the guy most loved in Brooklyn, Puerto Rico, everywhere he go.
Ah,
You know, the youngest American champion in 140 at 18 years old, IBF World Heavyweight Champion. And that guy with 10 losses, and people went and packed the building for him. Like, doesn't matter. When Sab Judah used to show up, everybody went through. That guy still got a lot of love, and he fought against everybody with the best of his era. Like Tacho, Sab Judah,
yo,
Tacho.
and that's the thing. That's the thing, right? Right. Check it out. My man says, all right, about Haney. I'm trying to go after
I'm a cheerleader.
a
Someone
low
said,
hanging fruit.
people.
Right. Check this out. Check this out. Right. I mean, that's what you got to do, though.
I'm not a
Once you
Devin cheater.
once you get one of these belts, you put a target on your back.
Oh
What you
yes.
think? Everybody's not gonna try to come after Dalton Smith. A lot of these fighters, and you think a lot of these new champions are not gonna be attacked.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
surprised that Raymond Morataya's name in the 135 it's like a ghost town down there now, right? Like
Yeah.
some of these
Tacho.
champions, never really got like even their names attached to something. The fact that Devin wants to unify and things like that, Lewis Crocker, and you got fighters like Xander right now and going after Josh Kelly, which that's a tough fight.
IBF, IBF, 135
John,
pounds, do those 10-pound
Yeah, but
don't
rehydration.
bounce back
but a lot of these champions don't even like get these kind of like
right back.
buzzes and shit, but you're gonna get a target on your back, and people are gonna come after you, and people are gonna
People gonna
call you
talk
out.
about you.
And yep, they're gonna do this because look, let me talk to you about that fucking Xander situation real quick with Josh Kelly. If that ever happens, we're gonna talk about that fight. Josh Kelly's a slick puncher. He can be
Yes.
slick, a little crafty at
Those
times.
British, yes.
Yeah,
Because
he's
Dalton Smith got that stuff too. They're very sleek. They throw
yeah,
punches when
they're
you don't
slick kind
expect
of
it.
fighters. When you don't expect it, right? That sharp uppercut, or when you least
Yeah.
suspect it. He's a decent boxer. I think that Xander is a great boxer too. Josh Kelly used his footwork against Bakram, and he kept them moving. He didn't let Bakram stay station and sit on his punches. He kept Bakram moving. But you saw when Bakram caught him that one time, he did drop him in the fight. Um, I think that Josh Kelly can be elusive, but Xander has the elements that Bakram lacked. Xander is a better mover. I think Xander has a better jab. I think
Oh
The only
yeah.
thing that Bakram has that does better than Xander for small is power. Is
Power.
power. And and and
The referee
and
protect
wait,
Kelly.
wait, wait. I take another thing. Bakram is accurate. He doesn't waste a lot of punches. When he
No.
does decide to throw punches, they land. You know what I'm saying? So Bakram's more of efficient with his punches. He doesn't throw like he's not out there
Bunch
throwing like
and
like multiple. But I got to admit though, what I take from it, he is accurate with the amount of punches that he throws. He does land at a high rate. At a but
yeah.
Josh
And they
Kelly
got
had him
power.
missing. Josh Kelly had him missing though. In that fight with Josh Kelly though, Josh Kelly was because overall
Yeah.
Bakram is more like that, but
But
When he
Kelly
fought
moved a lot
Josh
too.
Kelly was using a lot of movement and angles.
And legs.
You know,
Yeah.
he kept his feet moving, and I think that was smart. He
Of
couldn't
course.
stand in front of Bakram and just allow to get
Hell
into a punching
no.
contest with him. That wasn't going to be
No.
smart for him. So
No.
I
He gonna
did
end it
like,
out in the canvas.
yeah,
Or
I
for
like the
sure. Out.
strategy, the game plan that Josh Kelly and his team came up with to really nullify and take away Boxer's power, keep spinning him. He kept going to the left, and he kept, you know, not being predictable on his
Yep.
movements. He kept adding funny things. So that was really smart on Josh Kelly's part and
Hey.
behalf.
Hey.
So I think that Josh Kelly is a way better stylistic fight for Xander. Uh
Yeah. The
that's
stuff
gonna
that I don't like was when this one from Mushroom or Eddie Hearn. He was
uh,
like, "Oh, these are two handsome guys with a lot of prospect." And what the hell? I don't care. What you mean they're handsome? I give it them. Oh, you're gonna sell it to the girls so the girls can come to the
yeah,
building
of
and
course,
pack it
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
And then I remember De La Hoya, his big fan base. Oh my god, a bunch of
Mm-hmm,
housewives.
mm-hmm.
Anyway, but bro, yeah, Josh Kelly and Sander Saya, that stuff sounds good. But I think Josh Kelly had to come over here and people need to see him again here in the American soil, and Sander, I don't know, defend that title here in the American. So people are more used to them and then you can make that fight. So sell better. But if you throw Sander and Kelly right now, if you got Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz fighting, and then you put Kelly again, so oh no, they need to rest. The time is not good, so make those moves and stuff so you can make that fight happen because two Black Americans are waiting for Boots Ennis to go for one of the titles. I don't know
Right,
if he
right.
won the WBC and they're pressing Eddie Hearn that they want Boots Ennis with a title. So, but because Virgil Ortiz and Boots, this fight, sell tickets, whatever, and people want
You
to
want to know
watch it.
something?
But
Hey,
after that, they
Malasa.
want a title. Yeah.
Right, Malasa. Right. I can agree with you on that, right? But in this position, in this day and age, if I ever wanted a promoter to be by my side, it would be Ed Hearn right now. That man's on fire. Okay. He's got the
Mm,
zone popping off with all the streaming. He made the deals with Turkey and all those investors. They're putting these fights there. If I believe there's a promoter in the game right now that can squeeze a title shot for Jerron Boots Ennis, would be Ed Hearn. The problem is, he's dealing with uh, a situation where the fans are actually asking for a fight. You know how that we get a lot of fights we don't ask for?
yep.
The fans are actually asking for Virgil and Jerron Boots Ennis to
Yes.
fight. They're actually
Want
people
it.
we want to see that fight. And although it's not for a world title, Ed Hearn's ambitions, his goals is to get his fighter a world title fight. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So, but this is a fight that I got to admit, there are a lot of fans that want to see this fight with
Yeah.
Jerron Boots Ennis and Virgil. So, sometimes, you know, I
And, and
you could be in a situation where another fight takes you that much further from your goal, which is a title. And then, like I said, there's no other promoter I would want to be more of a snake than
then
Ed
Eddie.
Hearn. Because when in this game, in life, you have to recognize certain things in life. In your life, you need to recognize certain things. If I go into a bidding war, I'm going into a sport with a bunch of fucking sharks, right? Swimming in a tank.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go have a guppy fish represent me when in
Hell
a shank
no.
full of sharks. He's gonna
Actually,
get
no.
eaten. What I
I
need
want
is
a
I
killer
need
whale
another shark.
or a killer whale.
I
Fuck
need
it.
a fucking great white shark, a big one, right?
Hell yeah.
So Ed Hearns, I mean, I respect him as a promoter, all the foul shit he does and everything. Like he gets away with shit on this mic that most people don't even catch because he's so good at what he does. For instance, he'll come out with Dalton Smith and say, Subriel Matias is a drug cheat. He tested positive for Ostrine.
Shit.
You know what? Excuse me, Lassa. Let me get this off.
No.
He says, Subriel Matias is a drug cheat. Subriel Matias did this. I don't want my fighter fighting against a drug cheat. But he got no problem taking Conor Benn that tested positive for drugs and got a 2-year ban where Subriel Matias never even went to trial. But he wants to advocate like he's such an honest person. Like if Subriel Matias, and he had this big stink about drug cheats. Brother, your best promoted fighter right now, because AJ is down in the car accident, is Conor Benn, a drug cheat.
That's what they want.
But he's so nice at what he does, people don't even see this. Because that's who Ed Hearn is. He's a promoter. He's a shark. And if I was Jerron Boots Ennis, although it's not an American promoter, because he's from the other side of the pond, Ed Hearn, let's just be honest, right? You know, he should have, I thought he was going to, Jerron Boots Ennis was definitely going to go to the PBC or maybe Top Rank, you know, but fucking Golden Boy, wasn't sure. But Ed Hearn, where he ended up, I was like scratching my head, like, how did that come about? And it was because Conor Benn had to come to America, and Ed Hearn was forced to come to America, and he started shopping for American boxing. That's all that happened. But I got to admit, if anybody can get it done, it's Ed Hearn. And Jerron Boots Ennis, man, unfortunately, man, you can't take time off the gym, man. You gotta get right back in there. If you're not getting these title shots, just stay active.
No, but
you know,
Virgil,
all this American shit, fighting once a year type shit.
Nah, fuck that.
This shit is bullshit, bro. At least in that Sufa shit, I was just talking to who was it? Martin there.
You can get invested with
Curtis Martin,
some
right?
boxers.
I was talking to the heavyweight guy, and he just went over to Sufa, right? And he's talking about my last fight when I left the ring with Deontay Wilder. I didn't fight for 2 years after that.
So fuck.
And he's like, you know, we don't like in box, we don't even know when our next fight's gonna be. But you enter this Sufa shit, and Sufa's telling you, we don't got your fights like lined up, but we're gonna guarantee you we get you 3 fights, and we're gonna have you working.
That's what I'm invested.
You want to fight? We're gonna make sure you work and you fight.
I'm invested in Pro Box for that reason. Because mira, again, Naji Lopez and Valles, they're gonna fight in the same court pretty soon in March again. So I can get invested with these boxers because I can see them at least 2-3 times a year. Like, come on, like they like when I'm already forgetting about them, they pop it up again. Like they have a card for them. So if Sufa is gonna do something like that Pro Box is doing, yes.
Let me tell you guys a story, right?
But I'm not gonna pay another ad.
Right. Okay. Sorry, my last. I didn't want to cut you off, but I this guy wrote right here. Alexandra, Bill. Man, those them shits are just too close together. Too many letters right now. It's fucking my eyes up. You have no idea how much a tyrant of a promoter Dana White is. Ed even fears him. Okay, check this out, right? Okay, I'm from Boston, and I used to run around the city. And back in my day, when I was younger, in my 20s or whatever, and shit like that, right? I was in a couple bad places, right? Dana White, when he started out here in Boston, he had a boxing gym. It was like this rinky-dink boxing gym. And there was this gangster in the neighborhood, well known as Whitey Bulger, right? And they made movies about this dude, Whitey Bulger, whether you're familiar or not. They try to like make him to be like this rat, like he worked with the feds, and that's furthest from the truth. Whitey Bulger actually never snitched on no one. And he never there's no paperwork, like, no, nothing. Like, he just killed a lot of people. So Whitey Bulger, what he had was, he had like this political brother. hold up. In Boston, he had like this politician brother. He had family members, and he was like mixed up in this a lot of like gangster shit. But there was one point in time that Whitey Bulger's name in Boston hold a lot of weight and ringed a lot of bells down there. And if you said the wrong thing about Whitey Bulger and he got back to him, he might have paid you a visit. Whitey Bulger was out of control in Boston. He was literally shooting people in broad daylight, getting away with it, type shit, and that was real life. I'm not talking about the movies they try to tell about him or the what you heard. That a lot of that shit was lies. Like they enhanced a lot of that shit, a lot of the things, but what he really was a Whitey Bulger was a tyrant. So Dana White opens the boxing gym. And for as much as a tyrant Dana White is now, he's like that with these guys, like Ed Hearn and them. Ed Hearn's not a gangster. He's just a rich kid. His dad had a lot of money. But when a real gangster knocked on Dana White's door, it wasn't even 16 hours. He left town. Not 24 hours. Dana White took what he can grab, got on a plane, and left the gym behind. That's the truth. That's what really
Edwin.
happened. I don't know if you guys know this or anything, but like the streets and this talk, right?
Yeah,
Dana literally grabbed the shit he could grab, I guess some money he had in his pocket, and he booked the next flight out of town. I don't care what Dana White says or what he said about a story because I don't follow Dana White or if he ever talked about that. And if he's talked about it and Dana White said, I wasn't scared of Whitey Bulger, like I said, I've never heard him talk about it. But if he would be a fucking liar, right? Yeah. Because if it's as tough as he wants to be up there with all those guys and the gangster way and the persona he puts on, I'm just here to tell you, when a real gangster knocked on his door, it didn't take much. Yeah. That man left Dodge. He was gone.
Edwin, listen to
Whitey,
this.
Though, wait a minute. But fucking around with Whitey, I wouldn't blame anybody to run. And when Whitey was in his glory, that dude was the devil himself. He did shit in the neighborhood. If I was a kid during that time, you know, young man, teenager type dude.
And Brady sent you a message. He sent you £5.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Connor Ben clearly. What?
Let me read it. Connor Ben was cleared twice by independent National Anti-Doping Panel in 2024 and 2025. A panel set up by UKAD. He never got a 2-year ban. Ben was cleared. That was Leonard Starling, 5627. Wow, what money can £5.
Yo, Ed Hearns is a motherfucker for that.
You know,
that was one of the best tricks. Yo, that was one of the best promoter tricks I've seen in a long time, bro. Conor Ben did get a 2-year ban. He was banned from the UK.
And no monarchy.
This motherfucker, Ed Hearn, went and got his own testing people. It wasn't the team people that caught him dirty. No,
thank you
for the
£5.
Right? Yo, Ed Hearn's a dog for that. But he got the remaining of his time knocked off. He got Conor Ben's the remaining of his time. Then Conor Ben and Ed Hearn tried to go out and campaign and said that he beat it. Like he got acquitted from the charges because Conor Ben wasn't actually lying, but he was lying.
Yeah.
Because his suspension, hold on. His suspension was true. He did get a 2-year ban. That's why Conor Ben had to fight in America. That's why Conor Ben could not fight in the UK until it was lifted. Ed Hearn paid for it to get cleared, and he fought Chris Eubank Jr., and he came home. And he got smacked in the face with an egg for cheating. Because Conor Ben's name is still in the cheating registry. Like the difference between Subriel Matias being accused of being a banned substance and you being found guilty for a banned substance and your name going on the cheating registry, that's two different things. Same thing with Saul Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez got his time reduced too. And he came on and said what? He beat the drug accusations, right? Is
Yeah.
that true? No. Where's your name, Saul? Still on the cheating registry as being a boxer that got caught for perform enhancing drugs.
The meat, the
You
meat.
see the difference between Jaime Munguia and Connor Ben. Jaime Munguia never got found guilty. He never even went to a trial. His name will never be on the cheater list.
Like the other kid that fought
Connor
that defeat
Ben,
the other
check it out.
British.
Listen. Connor Ben's case was so severe, in fact, that they gave him 2 years.
Damn.
In order for you to get 2 years, brother, your levels had to be skyrocket. You had to be on multiple shit. It had to be so clear because that's the maximum penalty they're allowed to give you. They gave you the maximum. They gave Saul Canelo Alvarez had 2, Cambrero and the other one. And they still only gave him 13 months. Ryan Garcia had 2. Ryan Garcia had 2. That other one dropped, and the Austrian stuck, and they gave Ryan a year.
Yep.
Brother, they gave you 2 years.
Out British.
There. And then what he comes back and says, the UK Boxing Association acquitted him. How did they acquit him?
After he had to do the 2 years.
Wait, hold up. After they say, yeah, how can they acquit him? But you say in the same sentence, he was never given a 2-year ban. So what are they acquitting you on if you never got, according to you, he never got a charge for 2 years? If you never got charged with the 2-year ban, what are you fighting?
What you getting acquitted for?
Right. You wouldn't be, if in the first place they never issued a 2-year ban, what the fuck are you fighting?
Yeah.
You would have to be fighting your ban sentence. But in the same breath, you're going to say, nah, he never got a 2-year ban. Yo, no, that's Ed Hearn and Conan Ben telling you this. But that's not true. What's in the record books is the truth. And I'm bound to tell you the truth. Yes, Conor Benn came out and said, I beat it. Yeah, great things. Well said from a cheater that doesn't want to be called a cheater. I would say the same thing. Ed Hearn got the rest of the time knocked off, but it does not mean that there wasn't a suspension issued. There was a sentence handed down, fines were passed, and you will be going down in the record books as a PE user. Saul can't get around it. You can't.
Nope.
You can't. So,
bro.
No, he's...
And who is Conor Benn at the end of the day? The son of a champion, like Chavez Jr., like all these
well,
Mosley
he's better
Jr.
than Chavez Jr., I'll tell you that much. He's better than Chavez Jr.
You don't show me nothing. But anyway.
Conor Benn he was just a spoiled guy that, he got, a little famous off his dad's name. He wasn't serious at one time. But I got to admit, Conor Benn's a strong little fighter, bro. He fights with his heart. He's not the greatest skilled fighter in the world, but I got to admit, of late,
he's not. Eubank.
Well, listen. I'm not judging Chris Eubank in the equation. I'm just judging what I see from Conor Benn. I don't see a guy that comes in there and is gassing out. I don't see a guy that's not fighting the entire fight. I see Conor Benn, actually, he's like a little strong fighter. Now, yes, he fought a weight drain Chris Eubank Jr. twice. Okay. I'm still not going to, like I say, I allow myself to see boxing. I'm doing an eye test on one guy. If you ask me now against the opponent, now graded off the base opponent, that's a different conversation. Yeah. But Conor Benn himself, as a fighter, he's not a slouch. That he is not.
Yeah.
Conor Ben could have been further in his career, but that's due in part to him. Okay,
But remember,
he
I'm the
didn't.
customer voice. Like I
No, no,
talk
no, no, no,
like
no,
the
no, no, no.
customer.
There
Like
should be no,
if
no,
I
no, no,
gonna
no, no,
pay or
no,
not.
no, no, no. That is his fault. That is no one's fault but Conor Ben's fault. I don't want to hear anything
Yeah.
because, brother, how do you explain never winning a minor world title
That's what I'm
nowhere?
saying.
You
That's what
didn't
I'm
win the
saying.
British world title. You didn't win the British Commonwealth world title.
The
You didn't even
Commonwealth.
solidify yourself as the best British fighter.
That's what I'm saying.
You got no belts. Like you don't got no minor ones. You don't got no major ones. You don't got the literal, the ring. You got
That does mean have the
nothing.
silver. Have the silver before he fought
No,
Matias.
he's never fought, and that's his fault. That's why I'm saying that's his fault. Because you might have been a little too spoiled, and then that 2-year ban fucked him up. He had to come out to the United States, and the United States had to sign off on his fights. What I'm saying is, technically though, Conor Ben is not a slouch. He's actually good for boxing. The way Ed Hearn and him have been a fucking dynamic duo, Ed Hearn went on to the next fighter, Conor Ben, the next hot thing. And he's been bringing Conor to all these fights, hopping in the ring, getting in fighters' face. And that's the right thing to do. That's why I said there's no better promoter than that fucking shark right there, Ed Hearn.
I don't know.
That's a fucking shark. So he is putting his name. Now, whether or not he can win these fights, that's a different story. We'll talk about that when that happens.
Because mira, when he get in the ring with Shakur, that Shakur said, "Yeah, I fight you." I know what he said that I will put you the same retractation clause that you put to Eubank.
Yeah.
But I don't understand in the way he said, but that made him look bad in the day that he won a title. That was the only shit haters was talking about. Oh, look,
Right.
most was the Tank fans because
Right.
they criticize him for
Well,
the
Tank
rotation
fans,
clause.
Tank did it to Ryan. They didn't have a
So
problem. See, the double standards is real in boxing. I'm
yeah,
trying to
because
tell you.
they
I'm
were
trying to
saying
tell
that
you.
Shakur was criticized Tank for that, and now he's saying it, and all this drama stuff that I don't get into it because I don't get into that type of drama, but that's what I'm saying. Like yes, Conor Ben can do that maybe with Rolly, maybe even with Hitchens. But Shakur in that stage that he was beating Theo, we don't need you there. For me as a customer, push me away. Like, who the fuck are you, motherfucker? What you have done in boxing? Why you want to fight him if you haven't proven to the American eyes that you are
Well,
a professional boxer?
he's trying to do that now. He's actually
But
trying to do that now.
but
But the problem with Conor Ben, he's a product of his own doing. He was the one that chose to get out of line at 147 and jump up there and fight Conor Ben not once but twice.
Eubank.
That's you. Now, where do you fight at? What
is his
weight do
weight
you fight
class?
at? Now, are you going to really destroy your body that you went all the way up there to 160 to fight?
Damn.
You really think it's healthy to come down to 147?
Hell no. At least
Bro, you're going to get
154.
knocked out. Your punch resistance, Conor Ben,
We saw it
I'm
with,
afraid that you're going to get in a position where they're going to hurt. You're going to hurt yourself, and it's going to make you look even that much worse.
Roy Jones Jr.'s. We saw it. 25
We
to
got another
200,
fight out of
coming down to
Super Chat.
175. Oh, another one.
Yep.
I
Read
don't
that one
saw-
off right there.
Yeah, espérate 1 second. I'll read
It
it
says
right now.
BBBOC what? Decided what?
Oh,
What?
I read it. It's another £5 for our friend Leonard Sterling. BBBOC decided unilaterally to not allow Ben to fight in UK. He was not banned. If he was banned, will not be allowed to fight in the USA. He fought twice in the US. Like he said that
Okay,
because
wait. Let me answer
know.
him. Let me answer him. I got this. He was banned in the UK, and he did fight in the US. You can do that. US doesn't honor UK bans, and vice versa. That's why we run over there and they run over here. That's why when Ryan Garcia got the ban, he tried to fight in Japan. and Oscar wouldn't sign off on the fight. Remember when Ryan wanted to fight in Turkey in Riyadh season? Turkey said, no, I'm going to honor United States decision on respecting your ban. It's up to the country to honor it.
Like Mexico and Canelo.
Right. If you get suspended for doping in boxing in the UK, just come to America. That's the oldest boxing trick in the world. Hundreds of guys do it. It's the same thing. If you're in the US and you get banned in the US and you go out to the UK honors that though. Sometimes. The UK will turn around and be like, nah, American dude, you can't come out here and box. Because they try to keep it the honor system. But some states, like in America, they don't give two fucks. California doesn't care what New York honoring system is. New York don't care what Boston's honoring system is. That's business is business. Money is money. If you're suspended in the UK and your name is Conor Benn and you can sell tickets, guess what? We got a place for you in Pennsylvania and we'll honor your fight.
Mexico too. Like if you're banning in the USA, you can go in Mexico.
You go to Mexico. Yeah, that's well
Canelo
known.
did it. The name cannot be mentioned. Did it? You
Right.
know.
When Canelo was suspended in America, you went to New Mexico and fought. Correct. Like a lot of Conor Benn could not fight under that suspension though in the UK. His next fights were in America for a reason. He couldn't go back until Ed Hearn finagled the bagel, got that shit lifted. Did he go back to the UK? But that's well known in boxing. Whenever you get suspended in UK, they always come out here. I thought you knew that. Everybody does this. And that's why it's up to the country to honor it. To honor it. Yeah. That's a no-brainer.
Our states got their own decision in their own laws and business. You know, the federal government cannot tell each state what to do. So that's why doesn't matter.
Boxers,
if the states want money, like Nevada.
Devin, not Devin. Did I
What
spell it Devin? Did I spell it Devin? I did, didn't I? I'm boxing
Don't
voice.
misspell.
Yeah. We're gonna correct that right now. Bingo.
Yes,
Did I? Yes, I did.
Hey,
Probably in my pursuit to write a type.
That was what they were saying earlier, that you was misspelling something, but I don't understood because I don't.
I got it. I fixed it. Thanks. Ness. Thanks.
Don't like we miss you.
Yeah. And what else? Oh yeah, Ness. Kelly, what?
They're talking about El Zurdo versus Benavides in the court.
He's talking. No, he's talking. Kell Brooks will knock out Conor Benn if they fight now. I mean, we're talking about an old man, like these gimme fight type things again. Like Conor Benn got to get serious with the sport. If you guys want to start talking him up. I mean, I like Conor Benn. I don't like always talking down about a lot of fighters. I talk shit, whatever, but that's regular boxing shit. But as far as Conor Benn, he's an attraction right now. He's kind of trending upwards. He's been in the ring. He's been showing himself. Ed Hearn's been promoting him. So that's all good. But I got to be honest with you guys. He hasn't accomplished anything. And when I mean anything, I mean anything. Like he should have some fighters to make their way, to prove that you can fight. You're the best in your country. Fighters like Naoya Inoue got the Pacific Oriental title, Federation title. People fight their way. They get the Youth Continental belt. Xander, I think Xander Zayas got one of those belts from the WBO, the youth belts, when he was coming up. And all these fighters coming up, they get these minor belts. And it's good. It's good for the fighters. I got to this level. Now it's next to the next level. And then Conor Benn never did any of that. None of that shit. So that's what I got with him when they're saying that, he's ready to beat all these guys and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm from the show me state. Hey, Conor, why don't you show me that? Show me you can beat these guys. But now, realistically, it wouldn't be healthy for him to drop down 147 from 160 like that. I wouldn't do it. And the problem with that now, that leaves him what divisions? What divisions that leave him where that he can fight in? And those are dangerous waters. Those are real dangerous waters. You're not gonna stop at 154, are you, Connor? I think you'd be too small for the division. I think Connor's a good power puncher. As far as the way he moves, like the way he looks like a powerful like force. But his punch, his I gotta see his punch against some of these guys rather than a depleted Chris Eubank Jr. So I mean, for Conor Ben, he's a good character for boxing. He's definitely, I would like to see him fight some of the guys. Who? What weight division? I think he kind of got to like start from scratch if he wants to try that 147 thing. Don't fight the top guys at 147 right away. Go in there, get yourself a fight, what we call acclimating to the division. Get yourself one of those fights once again. I know it sucks. People want to see him in these big fights already, but I'm worried about his health. The way you're building your body up and bringing it down. I'm not sure if your punch resistance is going to be there. So, if Conor Ben's going to lose, I want him to lose on the up and up. I want somebody to whoop his ass on the up and up. I don't want it to be on a 10-pound rehydration claw like he's trying to put on some fighters to try to protect himself because he knows the damage that he's doing to his body. So in order for him to fight somebody else, I feel that he thinks that he has to put a rehydration clause to kind of make it even, to put the guy in his situation, Conor Ben. You understand? And rather than the guy accepting that to meet Conor Ben at his terms, fuck that. I'm not doing a weight. If you want to fight me, no weight hydration claw. I'm not telling you to fight me. You're asking to fight me. Fight me on the up and up, and I will bust your ass, Conor Ben. I don't want to see that because then Conor Ben's going to say exactly what I'm saying. The excuses are going to start to pour. I really don't give two shits about the excuses. You get your ass whooped, you get your ass whooped. You explain yourself. But still, once you get it on the up and up, you could say all the excuses are you. I know what I saw. You got your ass whooped. And that's just the bottom line. And that's why this fight for the what we were talking, the topic today, Devin Haney versus Xander. And I said to you guys, I love Devin Haney. I love Xander. I love all boxing, right? And I'm going to speak what I really see here. If I really believe and think that Devin can do what he did to Brian Norman Jr., he's just going to walk up to 154 and do it to Xander, I said I would have to see that to believe it. Why? There's elements that are being changed here. The size of the gloves, 10 ounce, 8 ounce to 10. If Devin ain't cracking like that with them 8, he ain't going to do that with them 10.
Nope.
Then you're talking about a big weight jump. This is not a small weight jump like from 122 to 126. No, this is 147 to 154. And when you're dealing with that kind of like that, when I said to you guys, even the great Terrence Crawford, when I saw him move up to 147 to 154, he couldn't knock out Ismail. But he needed that fight there with those bigger gloves. And he had to, there's things he had to work away in the fight and get comfortable with. You think that them 10 ounces and 2 ounces don't make a difference, but it does. The holes and the opportunities you see in those 8 ounces to slide your punch right in between their guard is bigger, but with them bigger gloves, you can protect more. The holes are smaller. It's a bit more difficult to get in there. So I was like, you guys really buying into the fact that Dev Dollars, Dream Day, Debo Haney, add some more names to him. You think that that's easy? The great Terrence Crawford couldn't do it. He was successful. He just didn't knock out the guy. He didn't look that great neither, right? But all of a sudden, Devin Haney, that ain't knocking out nobody, He's gonna walk up where? Xander, after coming off that performance, the kind of cloud that young 23-year-old kid's on, you can't tell that kid nothing right now. He's got 2 belts. He just beat Abbas Baru. That dude can fight. That Abbas Baru dude, you gotta admit, that dude can fight. Xander picked him apart. So, what is Devin gonna do? Bro, this is just something I would have to see. Now, if Dev goes
Everything
up
got
there and
bigger.
beats Xander, bro, man, listen, that's gonna put a feather in his cap because Xander would have been a unified world champion at that time. You would have to give Devin all the praises in the world. I told you guys, the one thing I have to acknowledge in Devin Haney's career was when Devin Haney was at the bottom, when he was being criticized the most, and he wanted to fucking crawl in a fucking hole and hide or something, right? Devin decided not to. Devin decided to remind the boxing world he is who he is. And not only did he just fight anybody, he fought the young, undefeated Brian Norman Jr. coming off a massive knockout in Japan. So before the fight, I mentioned this in my video earlier. I mentioned it. Before going into that fight, people were like, Devin, you're crazy. This is a dangerous fight. Don't take this, Devin. Don't fight Brian Norman. You're not ready, Devin. You're not ready. And Devin Haney went in there and starched him.
Yeah.
Didn't starch him in the way I think he should have. To some of us, I think he should have finished Brian Norman Jr., but
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
conversation for another day. But why I bring all this up is just to show that Devin Haney is about that smoke. And Devin Haney is about taking chances. He really is. That was a big chance to take. To
Right.
be coming
Yeah.
off that performance with off of Jose and not having that confidence yet
And
and trying to
I
will yourself in your, to get yourself back to
I
take
think
on.
too was Bill Haney to outsmart Brian Norman Jr. father. And he played with his emotions and stuff like that, and don't let him think like a freaking trainer and make him think emotionally. That's the reason his son went through in the second round or stuff, in front of Devin Haney. Like, was a lot of stuff that happened there, but I give it yeah to Haney. He take chances. I was not gonna take that away of him. You know that he's not entertaining. That's another story. It's true,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yes, he take chances.
Yeah. And like you were just saying about the gloves there, Matias gloves look huge, not like the ones he usually uses. Um, I think that
The
see,
brand,
yeah, okay. Check this out, right? What happens sometimes at uh the negotiation table when your promoters are negotiating, the terms and agreements of the fight for your fight to take it. Um, I think that Ed Hearn and Dalton Smith got to pick the gloves, their team. And they picked the gloves and they picked the brand and multiple different brands of gloves. They weigh the same, but the weight is distributed either long or for a
why?
puncher. It would be round. Where that you see the gloves, they're puffy here and big right here, but they're not wide. Like the style of gloves that David the Monster Benavidez likes to use. You see, those gloves are more for catch and shoot and for power. Not a lot of pad in the front. The weight of the glove is distributed and makes the glove longer and made for blocking. Then you see the ones that are not for blocking, that is more for a puncher, where that the pad, it's more looks like a pillow up there. And that's for guys that break their hands,
Yep.
that are constantly like, they're not
Yeah.
playing defensive. So it's up to the manufacturer of the gloves. I've tried on a lot of gloves, in gyms and different styles of gloves. And everybody from Everlast to fucking
It's like the baseball
Winnings to
bats.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, you know,
The same way, but it's distributed
it's
different, you know,
distributed
and it
different. Right. But it's the same exact weight. David the Monster Benavidez gloves look huge. Okay, for another existence, right? Tank Davis. Go back and look at Tank Davis's gloves and the Frank the Ghost Martin fight. He was using gloves to block. What he
the
was
power
planning,
front.
right? What he was planning is to wear Frank the Ghost Martin down and allow him to punch. Get him a little tired. He stands just for that second too long. Night night. So you could see where Tank's approach was because the style of gloves he had on. You know, like that. Tank covers like this and comes in. You know, where that, there's just a lot of different other fighters that prefer, like, when you start getting to like them horsehair rares gloves, you're gonna come out that fight brain dead if you're dealing with a big puncher, because
Yeah.
that shit hurts. There's like, it's the horsehair, man. It's like you can feel that shit after like 2 or 3 rounds. You've already punched the padded down. You ever
Ooh.
see like where you could see where like the person's already ink? Yo,
Yeah.
that, yeah,
Damn.
man. Yeah,
The
definitely.
raps. You're gonna be fighting with the freaking raps and shit. Damn,
Yeah,
damn.
like that. One of the guys
That is
throughout
really
his
bad for
career,
the elbows and the
yeah, one of the guys that was crazy throughout his career, he never put a lot of wrap padded gauze on it. Mike Tyson. You
yeah,
ever
you
see those
fucking
heavyweight
man.
champions? You ever see them take off their glove? You see Naoya
Who-
Inoue. You see like Canelo,
Oh, but the
Terrence
Japanese got a
Crawford.
different style of rapping. Really
Yo,
good.
that shit is like this, dog. And then
Yeah.
they got the like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That it's like that thick. Go watch any Mike Tyson fight. Watch him take off his glove. Literally, I swear to God, people, he takes his hand off like this, and Mike Tyson goes like that to like salute. You could see the space, the air like go in between his wraps. It's like that thin. There's no padding on Mike Tyson. He doesn't care about his knuckles were hard.
We
We
got
put that on so that we don't break our
he
hands.
was so fast. Oh, before the system locked him up because he was making way too
Yeah.
much money, like they did to Tank. Bro, he was so fast. He was a
Mm,
freaking beast.
yeah. Yo,
That
check
shit
this out.
was.
Yeah, check this out, right, guys? When I'm talking about rapping, what I used to do as a kid, I don't do this no more, but what I used to do, I used to fight a little bit too much. I used to walk around with a do rag. They call it a do rag in the hood, right?
Yeah, the
And
movement.
and
Yeah,
yeah, right? Or a hand wash towel. The ones from the hospitals were the best, but the ones in the hotel rooms were they had the
yeah,
little long ones. You want the ones that are like this long. It's a square towel like that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I used to fold that up and I put it in my
Yeah.
back pocket and I would let it hang out my back pocket because that's what I use for a fight. If I
Yeah.
ever got in a fight and you gave me enough time to reach to my back and grab that towel, you wrap it around your hand once, you put it on your thumb, you cuff it like that, and you grab it like this, and it
Yeah.
locks your hand in place. So when you punch somebody, you don't break your hand. It's
Yep.
a cheap way of how to wrap your hand on the fly. You see, the reason why we wrap our hands is to avoid from breaking our hands when we hit
Yeah.
because everything's solid.
Yeah. The
The
face is
hand wrap,
bone. The
right,
face is
and
bone. The head too. Actually, you hitting somebody in the head. That's just
right,
that break your hand.
right,
Fuck
and
that.
then
I know.
the big pad that you see
The
over the
teeth.
knuckle of all gauze, although it gets pretty tough, that it becomes like durable. It's really soft inside because what you don't want is something hard smacking back against your knuckles.
The
Because if
mouse
it's that
guard.
shit is hard, you're gonna break your hand because that's gonna slap back to your hand. So everything's got to be one cushion to the next cushion to the next to try to reduce the impact
Yep.
of a punch, right? So when you wrap your hand, that's basically you getting the full of your fist. Mike was doing by having that was pure, that was just pure fucking punching power. Like his it, not even his equipment. Can you guys hear me? My
Yeah,
speaker?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like that was just pure.
Let me see.
He was different. Mike was different because he wasn't even giving his hand the protection you need to get it a solid. This mofo, bro, I swear to God, I put up like old Mike Tyson's tapes. Hold up. From you, I'm telling you, whenever you see him take off his hand wraps in the ring, Mike's, it looked like if he wrapped it 3 times, like if he went like this with gauze 3 times, just 3 times, put tape and said, let's go. He had no kind of wrapping, Mike. It was crazy. And I found that to be like, and then he wore no socks, nothing. Mike didn't wear like your traditional robe. He cut a hole in the towel, put it on, and when wanted to go out there and knock some people out, Mike was ruthless, man.
Yeah, you
He was
sound
just
perfect.
everything about him was tough.
Yes.
Everything about him was just fucking tough. Like for
The
real.
guy who sleep with tigers. What else you want? You know,
Yeah.
the motherfucker sleep with tigers. That job.
That should say it all right there, right?
Yeah.
He's slit with tight. That should just say it all. What kind of man he was. Listen, fight fans, thank you for tuning in here today.
Yo, thank
Here
you,
at another
everybody.
another episode here, Round One Sports Talk. Malasa, you're the best.
No,
Yo,
Edwin, thank you for letting me be here. Okay.
yes,
And
absolutely, man.
yo,
All in
God
all of
bless
us
you.
here.
And we are here for you. Okay. Yeah, I know
Yes,
what
man.
you're
Thank you.
going through and
I
stuff. So
Hey, I appreciate this guy sitting on here talking with me, guys. I really don't want to sit here all day, just keep dwelling
I
on the
know. I know.
situation. And I really value this time right here. And thank you for you guys, coming up here and talking boxing and, and just having this outlet. And it's amazing that, we built this together. I built this, yes, but you guys are here with me. And when I really needed it, just thank you for taking me away from anything and laughing right now. You guys don't have no idea what just a few laughs just did for me,
We're here for
for
you,
me. And
Papa.
just conversating and talking and everything. And I just really, from me to you guys, thank you. Thank you for everything you guys do, you know. So salute guys, man.
Take
Thanks
care.
for the show on Saturday. Yeah, yeah. Yo, listen, love you guys.
We
Love
take care.
yourselves. And I'll see you on the next one here at Round One Sports Talk. I'll be back. Peace. Love yourselves, guys. You guys are amazing.